battle between Skadoodle and JDM. Not so much going head-to-head, but just how are they used to kind of dictate the pace of the match? How are they going to be used for map control from each team? Pretty tough map for CTs as well.
All right, well, it looks like we're going live now, guys, with the first map. Just as a reminder, one more time, these are two separate best-of-ones. It's not a combined best-of-2 set, whereas if it goes 1-1, it would be considered a tie. If you win one of these maps each, you're each just going to get one victory and the points that come with it for the night, whereas if you take both, well, that's two separate victories, and of course, the losing team will get nothing. However, we are going live with it now in just a moment after the pistol round victory has gone through, and I think the sides just changed, so CLG is going to start off on the CT side, and Cloud9 will jump onto the T side.
Yep, so Cloud9 starting out with that early advantage of the T side. This is a little bit of a T-sided map, so that bodes well for C9, at least to get things started with. But CLG has started to actually look at this. Hayes has one nade, and he has the kit as well. So no smokes whatsoever, 4 armors, so CLG going to be looking to take a lot of battles, just a lot of duels, aim fights, and it looks like Cloud9 heavy towards dropping the B bomb site. Stewie's just going to full-blown rush it with a flash, and he actually doesn't catch Fugly on the other side, but he turns in time. Grabs a very nice headshot, so a lot of pressure being put on B, but there's Tarek. One headshot. Oh, a second one, and Hazed as well, and all of a sudden this has turned completely away from Cloud9.
That's so good there from CLG too, managing to turn that back around. Hayes, I think, made a big mistake after he went outside of window. Saw that big rush coming down through drop, but thankfully got the intel out soon enough, and he didn't end up getting picked off by Stewie, who led the charge. So everybody kept themselves calm and composed, and they just completely shut down the rush from C9 after they tried to get control of drop.
Yeah, that was really dirty. Just Tarek just bodies people. 3 kills for him on the pistol round. Nicely done. And that, I mean, that looked like it was just going to collapse as Cloud9 was sort of pinching that B bomb site. It looked like I had the angles and just some very, very nice kills. Just abated the pressure just in time. Good stuff.
So Cloud9 are going to head through the halls now, moving themselves over towards middle, through the connector that follows it here in just a second. But no real investment coming into this round, despite the fact they did not get a plan. It's mainly just P250s. We do see a Deagle sitting on Stewie. But beyond this, it's not just your straightforward play either. They're hanging back. They're going to want to take this a little bit more slowly and a little bit more tactically too, as they hope to maybe pick up 1 to 2 kills before they go for an eventual take on what appears to be the A bomb site.
And no investment of armor whatsoever, though. Just some upgraded P250s, a Deagle in the hands of Stewie. So 1 flashbang. And now the pressure is going to be put on, but JDM's right here, close up with a P90, sprays down 2. There's Cutler as well. JDM gets a 3rd, and it's a slaughter. Rounds over, 2-0 for CLG, and barely any damage taken.
Weren't even able to pick off Cutler, too. Nothing would have had an angle advantage peeking out back over there on long A against Cutler, but he came out too slowly, so by the time he managed to finally wrap around and get himself exposed on the site, everybody that tried to come out through middle was completely dead, so a shutdown from CLG, and they're looking clean to start things off here, 2-0, and it'll be the same story in this round from C9. We do see another Tech 9, so a little bit heavier on the pistols, but as you were mentioning before, there's still no armor investment or anything, so we could expect this round to go pretty much the same way as the previous one.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be pretty similar. This time, though, JDM has all this intel that they're going to be coming on. That's a nice shot from Cutler. JDM as well gets one. So, yeah, another slaughter so far here in the round. Some dinks do go out, but this is great for CLG. They haven't taken any damage, actually. In these first 3 rounds, they've only lost 1 player on the pistol. So they have plenty of economy, and the question becomes, it's almost like CLG has a decision to make here because they have 2 P90s, and I think they're just going to keep them. There's no reason to spend the money to upgrade those.
Also, Cloud9 didn't get a single plant in those first 3 rounds, so that's actually going to leave them with basically 0 money after they buy everything. Skadoodle, thankfully, because they don't really buy anything in the other 2 rounds either, Skadoodle can still get the op with the armor sitting behind it, but that's pretty much it. He's run out of it, doesn't have any utility to support himself. He's going to have to be relying on Freak to help him out if he gets into any tough situations.
Yeah, but look at the early nade damage. Hayes down to 52, Fugly down to 66, so nicely done. That was a Molotov and a nade into drop, and both Hayes and Fugly just catch it with their teeth. Cutler's the only player at the A bomb site at the moment. He's very much alone. Hayes is going to rotate over because Cutler gets forced back from aggression at halls. So a little bit of map control gained over in those A halls by Cloud9. Still very spread out across the map, though, and they're not going to find any CLG players being aggressive whatsoever.
Shroud was trying to sneak up over towards Broken Wall, and just before he looked like he wanted to go for the peak, he does end up getting flashed out, so he's going to fall away. Now grouping up with nothing to go for control of drop. Keep in mind, though, that CLG, they don't actually really have anyone keeping a close eye on this for the time being. It's just players sort of passively sitting away from that area, trying to guard it and prevent anyone from getting themselves outside of this. The actual take from C9, though, is going to be coming on the A bomb site, and right now, similarly to some of the previous rounds, they've only got Cutler here to defend it. They've got Hayes in sort of a rotationary position, but he's going to have to take down Nothing before he can do it. And Nothing, you can see, he's wiggling around there, trying to test it a little bit, hoping he's going to fire, but it doesn't happen. Now the smoke rolls in, but I'm not actually sure if he's spotted Nothing as of yet, so that could be a flank to worry about later there. Nonetheless, the take begins. Cutler with a wild peek picks up 2 before he's traded out by Skadoodle. Now the T's moving in, trying to take further control. One getting very close to Hayes here in a second. I don't think he realizes it. Shroud this is going to get surprised. He's shut down. JDM picking up another kill. Now it's all in Skadoodle's hands in a 1 versus 3, and all he can hope to accomplish at this point is going to be the plant, but Hayes too quick on the draw, shuts him down. C9 again, not really going to be able to get much out of this round.
Yeah, that's sloppy. That's CLG just destroys that. Cutler getting 2. Actually, Cloud9 played that really well until the execution came in. They had enough pressure applied to drop to keep Hayes' eyes on it, so it was only Cutler in that 8 bomb site, and he was very exposed. The fact that he gets 2 kills is just terrible by Cloud9. That pretty much ended the round, and then Hayes, yeah, he didn't know Shroud was there, but he saw the shadow at the last second, and then just had insult to injury. JDM upgrades to an AWP for free, picks it up off Skadoodle. So no money spent on that. Now it's a lot of pressure being put into the A bomb site, and actually all the defense has been forced out. So Cutler's going to try and spam through the door. No kills coming in. Stewie just jumps right through, but he does fall. Hayes, meanwhile, made his way to the bomb site. He's going to grab a kill and just make sure this bomb site cannot be lost, although Nothing does take him out, down to 5 HP, so decent. They get 2 kills this round, but CLG now with a 5-0 lead and a lot of money built up.
And still not a single plant for Cloud9 so far, and the entire 5 rounds have been played out. So we'll see another investment, and it will be the big one this time, with probably a decent amount of utility sitting behind Skadoodle's own up by. No reason he wouldn't really decide to go for this unless he's not feeling confident or up to the task, but actually, that appears to be the case now. He wants to get a better stack of it, so he goes for the AK instead. And this means we're probably just going to see a pretty direct take, I imagine, over towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, it looks like it. Not even going for map control and actually being pretty aggressive. Tarek's going to be right underneath the platform. And it's going to be Shroud is just blocked off from Molotov at the moment, but now the smokes are ringing out from the Terra side, so Shroud's going to be making his move. Molotov comes over for the tree, and they're just going to come right down Broken Wall. It's going to be all on Tarek. He gets that first kill. No one's traded him off just yet. JDM with the cover. Fugly, meanwhile, manning down drop, and this is so quickly just down to Skadoodle. So Cloud9 just getting savaged right now.
And CLG predicted that coming perfectly. They knew that it was going to be pretty heavily leaning on the B site for this round, so all 4 players, or I should say 4 out of 5 of the players from CLG were already stacked there ready to go, and C9, they don't find anything to roll into the site. As soon as the action begins, CLG, they even hold back on the smokes a little bit earlier there too, so they're able to toss those down, deny them from moving out from the drop room there. They don't actually make any progress. Broken Walls get shut down, and it's again going to look like a very, very sloppy round from C9, but now they've got that full losing bonus regardless of the fact they're getting the plants or not. They're going to be able to invest at least for this round, and finally CLG gets aggressive, and that's what ends up losing them for the first time, I think, their advantage at the beginning of this round. Skadoodle's going to be able to pick off Cutler, brings it down to a 4-on-5.
Yeah, that was a very slow peek by Cutler out, and Skadoodle might have been one of the easier shots, but I was about to say, 6 rounds into this match, and Cloud9 only had 6 kills. Now that one on the Cutler from Skadoodle gives him 7. So you want to talk about, I mean, no matter what strategy you're going to execute, if you're only getting 6 kills in 6 rounds, it's not going to work out very well for you. JDM in the bomb site, he finds the head of Shroud. That's a nice shot. Thins down the defense a little bit. Nothing's lurking out Broken Wall. He finds one onto Tarek, so he's doing some work over here, but it's JDM who's pressured. He gets a second. Now he's got to be wary of the bomb site because Stewie's already made his way in. And actually, Skadoodle with the bomb and an op, he's going to have to come into the site as well. So both players are going to be inside the bomb site when this rotation comes in. Actually, just tosses the bomb and gets his perch out towards long. So it's going to be a retake for CLG.
They're going directly where they want them to work it towards right now, though, from CLG. You look at the positions of Skadoodle and Stewie, they're watching exactly where they need to. So this is going to be rough from CLG. Now they move in. Still a lot of utility to be used here, and a decent amount of time left to get this bomb defused as well. So the smoke is going to divide them. The 2 remaining players from C9, however, there's Skadoodle already picking up one of them. Hayes trying to work a mirror clear as he rolls back in, but that smoke, which he tossed just a moment ago, is now working against him. Can't realize exactly where Skadoodle's moving in from, and as he tries to leap across, Stewie catches the headshot midair, takes him out, and finally, after 6 rounds straight, Cloud9 get themselves on the board.
Yeah, nicely done off the back of that one pick from Skadoodle. So that's good stuff. JDM's 13-1 right now, just couldn't hold on to that bomb set a little bit longer. I doubt CLG is going to get aggressive like that and give Cloud9 an opportunity to find that opening pick. They had so much money built up, though. Look at this. I mean, after a full buy for everyone, it's Hayes is down at 500, but everyone else is sitting at least at 3,800 or above. So still a lot of money, and this time Cloud9 go right back to a B rush, and last time they did this, it got stalled out.
Good flashes initially, though, so they're going to get a lot of control as Cloud9 rush into this bomb site. Also, the rotations are very far away, so this is a good start for the guys on the terrorist side. Fugly's going to pull back, but that Molly's going to connect, and now he's out in the open, too, down to 60 HP. Trying to get a response on the spray, but not really able to connect anything, and now getting Freak even more room to push himself up to that corner there. When Fugly tries to come back outside of the drop room, it's going to get very, very messy. However, peaks it early, and the damage does end up getting traded back. Unfortunately for the remaining members of CLG, though, Cloud9 just has such solid control. This retake is going to be very, very hard to accomplish. And you've also got Stewie rotating back around over on top of drop, so he can surprise these players again. However, the counter boost from Hayes, he's going to roll, and then there's Skadoodle with the double, though. Fugly and JDM both go down to this one. Nothing picking up the kill on a Cutler, and just like that, the defense has been completely obliterated. It's just down to Hayes, and he'll be falling away to save his rifle.
Yeah, I actually thought that was going to be a save when it was in that 4-on-5 scenario for CLG, but they go for it and just get crushed on the retake. So second round for Cloud9. CLG going to have to spend more money. They have plenty of it to have a full buy into this round, but they're going to start getting very depleted. That time, for the first time, CLG really brings a second player over towards the A bomb site to open up the round, thinking that because Cloud9 had their success there, they would go right back at it. Cloud9 just kind of does a little bit of a misdirection with that B rush, so they get a little bit of an easier passageway to that B bomb site, and it works out really well. 2 rounds for them, they strung them together, and 3 members survive as well.
Cutler again moves his way back over towards long A. Might be a little bit overstretching himself initially, but does decide to fall back after some counter flashbangs that wanted to throw in from the terrace. Might be able to catch Freakazoid here too, but he spots him first. Doesn't matter. Takes him down. However, that rush from Cloud9 through long A does allow him to pick up the trade before Cutler can get into a safe position. Team flash coming out there from Fugly as Hayes has to hold back here for a few extra moments. And ooh, Hayes under a lot of pressure here too. Thankfully that flash not only blinds him, but 3 of the other players from C9. But then Skadoodle coming in with a touchdown grenade and also holding a great position here at the bottom of the ramp. Takes down 2 players in a row. CLG boxed out of this site, trying to find a way back in. Still no plant from C9, but they don't even honestly need to go for it. It's another flash. Connects basically head on onto JDM, but then he peeks and takes down Shroud. So it's even back out, down to a 2 versus 2. Tarek finding Skadoodle, and Skadoodle, I think, connects it through the wall, so it doesn't fully take him down. And then JDM, so casually finishing players up from that balcony angle, takes out nothing. Plenty of time left for this defuse to happen. As CLG pick up their 7th round.
That's such good play from JDM, and maybe small mistakes in the side of C9, but to have the rotation locked behind those choke points and have all the smokes and flashes going in the way they were, JDM gets 3 kills rotating over. He's at 16-2 now, by the way. But to have him, in that position with everything coming at him like that, get 3 kills is just fantastic play from JDM. So it might be a little bit of a case of Cloud9 not taking advantage of the smokes and flashbangs they were using, not crossing when they could. He did hit that one shot through the smoke, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But Cloud9 right now has really picked up the pace, and they've caught CLG off guard a couple times with basically just flat-out rushes now to each of the bomb sites. This time they slow things down, but CLG's got to be a little bit nervous, a little bit on their toes about the potential rush and fast-paced play that Cloud9 has brought these past 3 or 4 rounds.
They don't know exactly where it's going to be coming in from either. As CLG, you can see just how spread out the players are. They're going to be ready to rotate into the A-bomb site, and also Cutler, just in case, is just going to be exactly what it looks like it's going to be coming in now from Cloud9. He's ready to fall back inside of the doors if need be, and also is going to be able to hold a very close angle just outside of the mid-connector. He's going to need support through long A, though, if they peek first, and now the flashes come out. Cutler peeks a little bit too soon. It's fully flashbanged, and now an attempt to peek out from that little angle there does not end up working out very well from it all. Shroud shuts it down. Nothing, picking up a second. And again, they make smooth progress on getting onto this A-bomb site. We can see Tarek's going to take the longer round and try to line up a flank with Freak in a perfect spot to catch 8 players coming down outside of balcony. And the situation may be impossible for CLG, and it may just be wiser to go for a save. However, it looks like they're going to go for it regardless.
Yeah, no, Tarek's got to be the one to do something, but you're right. Not only does he take the long route, he takes the longest possible route. And he's really got to try and open something up for his team. He's got to take eyes away from these choke points, but he's not being quick enough. Shroud's even spotted him out, so now Fugly and JDM, they just get slaughtered. So does Tarek. So that flank doesn't work out whatsoever, just taking a little bit too long to come to fruition. Cloud9's going to get their 3rd. That time it was a slow pace to execute, but once the nades were thrown out, it was a very, very fast, decisive hit. You got to say, too, JDM is doing work for his team. He's at 16-3. The nearest member is Hayes and Cutler. They're both at 8 kills each. Tarek with 7. But, I mean, if it's not for JDM's heroics in a couple of these rounds, they're not looking as good as they are. 7-3. Still a very fantastic CT side, but finally their economy's been broken, and they're going to be on a save run.
With this, though, they're going to try to get a little bit creative as they stretch their players out towards long A once again. 3 lined up for it, watching all different angles. But Cloud9 now holding back a little bit more this time as they wait for this exact movement to come out. Not actually really paying attention too heavily towards that long A area, but I don't think CLG are going to push outside over here towards the actual mid area. So now some more of the players from C9 start to wrap a little bit closer towards the B bomb site. And it looks like the execution should be coming in towards here. Not very good hopes for CLG to close this out, as also a good nade is connected onto Hayes. He's already down at 33 HP. And now this attempt to line up the players. JDM, it's actually amazing that volley isn't spread. Peeks out though and finds Stewie before being traded out by Shroud. He's going to pick up 2 from that area, limiting both JDM and Fugly. And now rolling in there, finds third, down just 2 remaining here from CLG. Cutler down at 21. He's got to fall back. And then you just got 1 left alive on the bomb site itself. That's Tarek. And Cloud9 actually still taking this very slow despite the odds that are stacked up against CLG at this point.
Basically a full execute as well with Molotov, so Cloud9 not taking any chances. Tarek might be able to get 1 here, but actually they're being very patient about taking this bomb, so you could see Skadoodle kind of, reassess the situation. It looked like he wanted to go for a plan and just thought better of it, waited for his teammates to clear the bomb site. So all down to Cutler now. They've got they don't, 7 rounds on the CT side is pretty solid, especially this early on. There's still going to be 4 more rounds for them to play with after this. Yes. Yes, my child.
I was gonna say, I think that they should be over the edge to try and go for a semi-decent force the next round too, if they want to, that is.
Yeah, I would rather see him save, to be honest with you, and just go for that 10-5. Although JDM has plenty of money for an AWP, it's the rest of them that I'm worried about. But either way, yeah, 7 rounds. If they can get 2 or 3 more onto this half, that'd be absolutely sick. Obviously, but for CT side, this is really, really nice stuff. It's recently, it's these past, they've lost 4 of the last 5 after going on, a 6-round run. So Cloud9 has figured something out that's working, and CLG's got to get back on the board, and they are going to go for that force. So they have JDM with the op, they have 2 Famuses as well, 2 M4s. It's going to be all about where JDM's going, and he's heading over towards this B bomb site right now. Cutler looks like he's going to posture a little bit in these A-halls, and he's only got 1 flashbang to work with, so that might be a little bit tough. But Cloud9, Shroud's going to throw out some nades towards B. This is a pretty slow round to open up for the T side.
Tarek's going to sit back again. He waits for that broken wall pressure to come in, and then he can peek back out and hopefully catch the players before they realize his own position. Cloud9 is still holding back, though, playing the very, very slow game to actually go for the entry on this site, spreading their players out all across the map in hopes of catching any bits of over-aggression from the CT side. Or from CLG, they've swayed away from this now as they were doing it in some of the earlier rounds, and it was not paying off too well for them. This is basically as soon as they started doing it, they started getting shut down by C9. So they're taking their time. A couple players moving for control of long A right now. The bomb's still sitting just outside of the B bomb site with 2 others grouping behind it. And it looks like it'll be an attempt to try and throw smokes and wherever else they can throw on that A bomb site, hopefully drawing a couple rotations away and then going for the actual execute on B. Actually, no, I think it's going to come in towards... We'll see in a second, but they're still taking it very slow.
Yeah, really slow. And most of their success has been sped up, but look at Stewie. He's actually being very aggressive. It's slow aggression, but he's already out towards the wall. JDM's going to find him, though. So doesn't find the battle he wants. He gets picked off, and now it's a lot that's going to be out of this B hit. Tarek right beneath the broken wall. Shroud knows exactly where he is, finds him. JDM on the rotate. Got to get here quick because the defense is crumbling. No more kills come out for CLG. JDM does add 1 more tally, and he's got someone lurking over towards the A bomb site. That's going to be Freakazoid in a rare lurk position. And he's going to have to... JDM's going to have to find him out if he wants to save this weapon.
I think JDM knows the lurk is alive, but he doesn't know exactly where it's coming from. So he's attempting to sneak it out. Not exactly sure if... I think he has managed to get away from him. So Freak's still checking on that side. I think he still thinks he's over towards balcony or somewhere on the site itself. So he's moved away. He's in a pretty safe position, but at the same time, he also has not spotted Freakazoid as of yet. So this round's definitely going by the way of Cloud9, of course. Now it's just a matter of figuring out if JDM's going to be able to save this op or not.
JDM's like the only one, I think it was like 2 or 3 rounds ago that I mentioned JDM was leading with 16 kills. Cutler and Hayes still have 8. Tarek still has 7. Fugly still has 2. So JDM's the only one who's gotten kills in like 2 or 3 rounds. So that's obviously got to prove it. It's like they've swapped. Remember, Cloud9 only had 6 kills in 6 rounds. Well, now no one from CLG is able to connect any shots. So looking much better for Cloud9 here in the later stages as CLG goes a little bit cold.
Also, Shroud picked up the ball in a pretty big way, too, in these previous couple of rounds. At one point, he was 0-8, I think, before he finally picked up his first kill. And since then, in these previous 2 to 3 rounds specifically, he's been consistently racking up like 2 and 3K in a row, which is specifically on that, like, just on that last round, allowed him to pick up so many entries. However, JDM still armed with that op. He's doing work. Goes to the peek outside of the mid doors and already dropping the opera from C9, taking down Skadoodle. That's a good start to the round to, at the very least, maybe slow down C9 to the point where they may start making mistakes we saw earlier in the half once again.
Yeah, but drop is exposed. JDM gets a second one. That's the bomb. Now he's got to be careful out towards long. He's going to land that as well. 3 kills for him. He could just be the hero in this round. He's got all 3 kills. The rest of his teammates only have pistols, so JDM, he's smoked off at long, and he's actually got Stewie right on the other side of this, so he's got to be very, very careful how he approaches this round. None of his team is able to salvage a weapon just yet. Stewie's going to jump right through the smoke. So that's a free kill for JDM. Going for the ace, and he's going to get it. The only gun on the team for that whole round, and JDM lands all 5 shots. What a ridiculous performance we're seeing out of him tonight. 8 rounds now for CLG, 5 for Cloud9.
The best part about that from JDM too is there's no panic, there's no these crazy kills where he has to react on a dime, with the exception of maybe that one where Stewie jumps out of the smoke. They're all such controlled. He knows exactly where Cloud9 are playing from. It's perfect awareness from him and just shuts that down perfectly. It's like a ballet with the op there, and it works out great. So now we're up to 8-5. C9 still a good round back from where we were at one point, but CLG with 8 rounds on the CT side. Even if this ends up going 8-7, it's still not a bad half for CLG to start off with.
Yeah, and now look, Cloud9 back to picking up the pace. Cutler was pushed up in A hull, so they know exactly what's coming, but it doesn't matter because Hayes just falls so quickly. Now Cutler's got to do something. They're going to start smoking and flashing. He's completely blind. He's caught out in the open. He does get that kill on the freak zone, but he's not long for this world. Oh, what a shot onto Stewie. So he does get an extra one. Fugly falls, but JDM, the hero, is here. He does get picked off by Skadoodle, though, just as I say it.
The dead hero, as it'll now just be on Tarek, who is sitting just behind his teammate, so there's not really a whole lot of room for Tarek to find his way back into the site. Balcony's going to get re-smoked now. He's got a little bit of an angle to try to jump through, but as you can see by the silhouette, it's nothing sitting just below there. We'll be taking him out pretty quickly if he attempts to go for that, so the much wiser option now. Pick up the op, fall back, try to save that for the last round. Because although JDM has plenty of cast, the rest of his team does not, and that could be another rifle being dropped to someone else.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. So saving this is huge if he's able to get away with it, because JDM has plenty of money, yeah, like you said, to buy one, but, I mean, Cutler has 650 and Tarek with 300. It's so much better if he's able to drop an M4 overs to his teammate, and now Cloud9 knows exactly where Tarek is, so how dedicated are they going to be to hunting this gun down? It doesn't matter. There's not enough time for them to get here. As long as he doesn't get spammed, and he's not going to. Drops that over to JDM. So he'll be able to get a rifle in return. This is ridiculous, the disparity we're seeing on the CLG side right now.
It's pretty insane when you think about just how much they were leading, too, and economically, and just how much it's gone away because of the fact that JDM has managed to keep himself alive, either through just outright clutching the round through an ace or other means, or as the rest of the team has been going down so consistently, and how their money's been thrown into the dumps, whereas with C9, for most of their players, they now have plenty of cash, even at the last round here, just left over. So it's a complete turnaround here, but those people still look to hold on to their lead since this is a pretty big investment. Pretty much everybody except for Cutler has a full buy coming into this round. A little bit less on the utility side of things, but it's enough to hold off. This is direct play that C9 is going for. All 5 players attempting to push broken wall. Tarek picking up the first one from that close held angle, but Stewie quick enough finding the trade. Now the entire team dropped down from the actual platform, but stuck behind this wall now as nothing's going to try to lurk around it. There's good smoke coverage so they can force the plant, but look at how low they have Stewie at 21 HP. That does not matter. He goes for the plant. Now Fugly's starting to pick some of these players off. He finds 2, nothing, and Shroud. Skadoodle and Stewie try to hide, but there's no hiding from the retake, as CLG clean things up on the final round of the half, and they'll be ending at 9-6.
Yeah, there's Fugly. Just playing very smart behind the smoke at the bomb site. So he's had a little bit of a rough half with only 2 kills. The 9 rounds is going to be a good half no matter what, though, off the back of JDM. But Fugly there at the end, just able to bide his time, wait for his moment to pounce, and he does find it when the flashbangs ring out, when the smoke clears, nothing gets caught in the open, and he rattles off 3. So nicely done from him to close the half. And Cloud9, that's going to be a tough spot for them to come back from. At times they looked lost in that half, but it was really, I mean, they changed the pace a couple times. They switched up the bomb sites a few, and they did manage to catch CLG a little bit off guard in a stretch there. So, I mean, this T half though out of CLG, if JDM keeps up the pace he's on, if he still comes into the second half with this hot hand, this might just be over. I mean, what a ridiculous first half we just saw out of him.
The problem could be, though, is that if he has to lead the charge for this team and act as the only player that can really pick up frags, like we saw, like we were just talking about with Fugly, that last round was 60% of the kills Fugly got in that entire half. So if he's not able to perform and we don't see him and, I mean, everybody else on the team as well being able to pick up entries, and basically anyone except for JDM being able to do that work, we could just see he goes down initially and then the rest of the team just can't do anything else.
Yeah, you're right. If there's no entries coming out, if no one's kind of making gaps in the defense for JDM, that's going to be tough stuff. But either way, we'll see what they come out with. This pistol round is going to be all 5 members from CLG towards this B bomb site. Looks like the majority are going to be heading out towards B platform. They've been spotted out. Tarek takes a little bit of damage. Hayes, meanwhile, coming up towards drop. Same with Cutler. And this is a little bit slow pace. Now they're starting to move forward. That's a good pick, though. Stewie, no need to peek that.
Meanwhile, Freak's having a leisurely stroll through mid, so he's going to be coming in on a late flank. However, when you take a look at how slow-paced CLG are playing this right now, they may actually get a chance to spot him if they have not realized he's there already. You can see they're keeping their eyes peeled to the back of them now, so I think they realize someone's going to try to line up a flank. Where exactly it's coming from, they don't know. And Hayes is actually going to go all the way back through spawn just to check this, so...
Freakazoid's about to be so mad.
I don't know. Did he make any noise to indicate he was back here? No. Hey, he's got dinged. Yeah, Hayes takes him down. What gave him away is my question there.
I have no idea. Freakazoid is so angry. That's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world.
So now Skadoodle's going to take up a position just outside of drop room because CLG should be all clear to go. Oh, wait, no, this is going to actually be really bad for C9 because Hayes just moved in there to make some noise to make it feel like it was an A play, and now everybody's out of position here on B as they start to rotate back in. The smokes come in from the T's. They're going to have to watch out for the open more positions here, but still CLG playing slowly. It's working, though, as Cutler picks up another entry, shuts down nothing. Skadoodle also falls. He's just Shroud in the chicken coop, and he's absolutely going to get pummeled by Hayes and the rest of the team. They shut it down, and CLG keep their lead going strong at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, what a nice pistol round. They get that pick on a Stewie, and then they just basically pull the defense all across the map. I don't know. I'd have to watch that again. I don't know why they, for whatever reason, they seem to know that Freakazoid was pushed up. That's the only reason I can think of for Hayes to go all the way around, unless it was just literally a random casual check and just found him out. But either way, from there, just the pressure that Hayes put on that A bomb site pulled the remaining 2 defenders away. It was only Shroud at that B bomb site when the execute came in, so nicely done from CLG. This round, you can see, I mean, the buy-up from C9. Everyone but Skadoodle invests into this round. Shotgun, Scout, upgraded pistols, and armor. It's only Skadoodle who wants to have that AWP for the first gun round. So CLG, as long as they can manage this one, they're going to be sitting very nice for the rest of the half.
Stewie will play up close to the broken wall with the Nova, hoping to catch some players in a rush play. However, CLG, it doesn't look like they'll be taking this pass, so that gun may end up being completely useless in this round, as the majority of the players are pushing out towards long A. Freak, though, could find quite a few if the 2 from CLG end up grouping up here on this push outside. However, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Fugly's moving down through the danger steps now to investigate through mid, and JDM is going to hold the close angle instead. Going for the bit of a peek there. Freak spots him, but doesn't connect. Actually, no, he does connect the shot. Brings it down to 74, and is just going to safely smoke that off to hold back the rest of the pressure. But now, we can see Cutler and Hayes doing a little bit of work there. They find an entry through mid, and they find another one, I think, through drop, too. So they don't actually know where this play is going to come from, but pretty good movement from him, but he's flashed out. Perfectly timed there. CLG will prevent disaster. They take him out. And just 2 left alive from Cloud9. Stewie's back over here just outside of the A-bomb site with a shotgun. He's got an upgraded pistol, but there's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do from this angle. And at the same time, Shroud looks like he's already rotating away to save.
Yeah, and CLG just kind of picks him apart again. So really nicely done. They avoid drop as well, which is where that shotgun was. Although Stewie, he hears these footsteps. He might be able to get Fugly, but Fugly's going to clear it. Not to be fooled. And Shroud is in the oldest spot in the book for Counterstrike pubs, the Tower of Kabul. It's beautiful. Although he's been spotted out now too with no armor. JDM just drops him. So no luck for the Cloud9 members right now. Timing is just not working out in their favor.
Even if he tried to run back inside the tower too, Cutler got up the steps and he was waiting just up on top. So there was no escape for Stewie with the scout there. So CLG just shut it down. No saves for C9. And unfortunately, because they do invest in the previous round, we won't be seeing all that much coming in for the third. Just a couple P250s for the most of them, sticking to their defaults with the P2Ks and Stewie on the USP.
Poor Shroud. Tower's always so much fun. Nade into the A-halls from JDM, and he's going to push forward. He has this MAC-10. Not going to commit to any kind of pressure. Meanwhile, actually, Cutler's postured very well towards drop. But look at this. Now it's JDM finds one. That's going to be nothing, and Freakazoid's going to fall immediately after. 2 nice kills for him, and they're going to push forward. The rest of CLG hasn't committed anywhere on the map. So they're just waiting to see what kind of intel is gathered from these 2 players at the A site. And now JDM has to know there's at least 2 members here. Here's one of doors. Fugly's going to drop him. One on balcony. And Cutler's going to drop him. So really now it just doesn't even matter. Slaughter. So Cloud9's going to be looking forward to this first gun round where Skadoodle will have that AWP. And they got to get on the board quickly. And they got to stabilize that economy very, very early on.
Not even 1 kill will be scored this one. They very easily handle Skadoodle, eliminate him as the final player. Now, CLG have double the rounds of C9, and there's a long road to get them back into this game.
Once again, by the way, first 3 rounds, only 1 member of CLG dies. Same as the first half. Just 1 member lost in pistol round, and the 2 anti-ecos for CLG works out perfectly.
And to invest on this round, when we take a look at what C9 are bringing to the table, they've got rifles. Skadoodle's got the Alp with the armor sitting behind it, but look at the utility. They've got smokes to hold off an initial rush if CLG decide to just barrel out over towards Broken Wall here. However, after that, in terms of HEs along with mollies, they don't have a whole lot. Skadoodle tries to push out there, almost connecting a shot, but it's going to end up missing. Thankfully, he's got smoke coverage coming in from his teammates, so they're not going to be able to find a response to this one, but still, good amount of intel gained early on in the round from him.
All 5 members of CLG are here, and actually look at Tarek. Look at this play that he's making. He's coming out through the smokes all the way around, wrapping on the bomb site. He finds everyone in the open, but he can't land any of the kills. Cutler's going to clean one up before being traded off, but Stewie and Skadoodle man the fort down just JDM. He's on B platform with his AWP. He's in a 1-on-3, though. A lot of work for him to do. And I don't think he knows Stewie is there. He does now, and he's just holding the edge of the smoke, seeing if Stewie's able to fall back. Now peering into the bomb site where nothing... Spots nothing jumping. Hasn't gone for the shot yet, waiting for him to peek, but no one's giving him an opportunity to find a pick back into this bomb site.
And those were 2 out of 3 of them are, so he can play to those advantages. Unfortunately, Stewie's going to sneak in there before he can switch back to his primary gun. He'll be eliminated. Stewie getting a free AK out of that play as well. So Cloud9, good job shutting it down. You mentioned Tarek there. Tarek does a good job of getting the position, but it seems he's almost surprised when he finds those 2 players sitting behind the tree rock. So it's not able to take any of those players down, despite even one of the members of Cloud9 being caught mid-gun switch, too. So only ends up finding one of those. They traded back, and then the rest of CLG, with the exception of JDM, don't really seem to connect their shots very well.
Yeah, I mean, that play by Tarek, that's designed literally just to clear out that bomb site. That's the only kill he wanted. If he gets that kill and they're able to swing and get a wide angle onto the site from there, they can take it over pretty easily. It's just the timing doesn't work out in his favor. He peeks and he only has maybe half a second to connect the shot and just can't get it quick enough. And sometimes that's just the life of an entry fragger. That's why it can be such a stressful role, because he did everything right. He got out there without taking damage, without being seen, and he caught him off guard, but just one movement from the counter-terrorist and it really negated all of his presence.
Still a big investment coming in from CLG this time around, however, since they had so much money from their first pistol round victory along with the 2 anti-ecos that followed. They only lost 1 player in that entire sequence of rounds, so there's still a decent amount of cash, at least to make it through this round. This will be their last attempt at it, though, and C9, of course, looking much better off this time. If they could hold it previously, the omens that they might be able to do it a second time, but for CLG, they're playing it much more slowly and much more spread out, as they throw a lot more grenades and at least try to throw a lot more pressure towards the A-bomb site. However, in terms of what the strategy will actually be when they go for the execution, it's probably going to be the same exact thing, with all 5 players moving now over here towards the platform push.
Skadoodle in the chicken coop, and Stewie close up. Here comes the execute, and actually the rest of Cloud9 is going to be caught behind choke points. They're going to have to get out of this. Skadoodle just throwing his flashes in the air to slow things down, and actually it's the same thing. Tarek coming out. Stewie, he knows it's coming, and he just drops him cold. He's playing right underneath the broken wall, and actually he's going to get one more, but he does get traded off. 15 seconds left on the clock, and CLG is worried about chicken coop, but Skadoodle has moved out of that position. Not too much left for CLG to do. 10 seconds. They've got to find all these kills. Nothing gets one. Skadoodle, a rare miss. And he gets legged, but connects the second shot. Now there's nothing left for Cutler to do, so CLG just runs that clock down and gets locked out of the bomb site for far too long. So Cloud9 win the first 2 gun rounds. Now they can start building up a little bit of a bank here for the rest of the half, and they have a double op setup.
Stewie's doing a fantastic job at holding that broken wall position there. He's actually, it seems like specifically in that last round, he actually sort of scared the rest of CLG, made them play that so slowly once they actually tried to push out, that the timer actually ran down way too low and they just weren't able to do anything simply because of his own play.
He has been doing a good job. Skadoodle as well with the movement, with the relocation from Chicken Coop was pretty nice, but I mean it just comes down to CLG not really applying any pressure in these last 2 gun rounds until they want to execute onto the B site, and it's Freakazoid who's going to grab the second AWP over towards the A bomb site. I would imagine that seeing this, CLG is saying, okay, let's attack Freakazoid with the op next round. Let's go towards the A bomb site and see if he can actually handle the pressure.
Before this round concludes, though, Fugly being able to pick up at least a nice one shot there. On to nothing with the Deagle, taking him down. Now Freak looking for some more kills, too. Trying to wait and see exactly where the 3 remaining members of CLG are going to try to go for their entry from. Cutler still has the AK to work with, and look at his position, too. He's lined up a perfect flank. I don't think they have any idea he's coming. Actually, take that back. Shroud spots him, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to be able to win that 1 versus 1, breaking the grates. He's trying to throw off his position, but he'll regroup with the rest of his teammates to push in towards this site. Freak is getting hit by that molly, and Fugly's going to come in just to close it out the round, suddenly turning on its heels, as now Tarek's also going to have an op to work with, too. They don't have their primary opper, but is there going to be another flank coming in here? They still have no clue that Stewie's wrapping around back through long A, so he's going to have a huge impact in a second. There's Fugly. He goes down, transfers it onto a second, taking down Tarek. Now it's just Cutler, and he's stuck. They know exactly where he is, so Skadoodle with the peek shuts it out. Cloud9 with a great recovery, and they'll pick up their 9th round.
Yeah, Stewie saves the day. No one from CLG watching the flank whatsoever. The last thing they expected. And he makes it work. They even salvaged the AWP, but if they pass that over to Freak again, like, he hits that first shot, which is pretty nice. It was a small crack, but once he gets put under pressure, once he's standing at a Molotov and he's got to swing out and actually aim someone that he doesn't know exactly where they are on the map, that's when you're going to struggle. That's when the inexperience as an opera comes into play. So CLG, if they don't adjust and go towards the A bomb site and try and hit Freakazoid here, I would be very, very surprised.
And from CLG, it's going to be direct, now pushing out again. They tried this on the first gun round. They're going to try to repeat it again. A little bit slower initially with the exception of Hayes, just moving out to try and clear the wings. As he's hit by an A, that slows him down pretty nicely. Now down at 58 HP, just at the edge of this smoke, hiding behind the box. The rest of his teammates sitting behind him, but the pop flash rolls in along with the rest of the grenade pressure. Stewie's here, but it actually mollied him out this time, so he's got to hold back. Doesn't connect on his first shot, but again, the flash placement from Cloud9 continues to be great, and Skadoodle rolling there. Doesn't actually get the knife kill that he was looking for, but nothing is going to be able to finish it off. Denies the bomb plant. Stewie's up close and personal, but Fugly sees him before he can throw that smoke back out there. They take him down. Shroud finding the trade. It's down to a 4 versus 2. And there is just no getting through this B bomb site here, as now it's just JDM. He's in that smoke trying to play with it a little bit, but he's giving himself away, and there's Skadoodle with the knife again. He's trying to fuck him. Can't actually take him down.
Oh, no.
What an awkward end of the round.
Nothing saves him. Nothing's like that character in a movie that, like, feels bad for the person who's getting, like, tortured and like, just executes in long range. He's like, enough of this torture. There's no humanity in this, and he just eliminates him. So good guy, nothing. 3 ops now for the CT side. That tactic by CLG, I'm just so amazed they went back towards the B bomb site. Especially not only that, but they execute a strategy where they don't even try and take the bomb site. They just try and get in and plant in the smoke, and that just smacks of desperation to be at this moment. They're so far up to start this half out, and now things are evening out. And they're losing all their momentum. Fugly does grab nothing. Freakazoid is still over here, and he gets taken out as well. And actually, even coming out of this choke point now, at least they've made it out, but JDM has the op, and he's the one you don't want to have to deal with in this kind of situation. And Nade's going to take him down to 97, doesn't do too much damage, and Stewie's now got a really good positioning on the ramp.
The momentum's been killed, though, as JDM does connect a shot in a Shroud, hits him just on the leg, so he's going to be brought down to 14 HP. Might have actually hit him through some cover, but nonetheless, he keeps himself alive, repositions himself, and now they know exactly where CLG moving in from. Unfortunately, because of the fact that C9 rotated into that A bomb site quickly enough, there's not a whole lot these final 2 players are going to be able to do because they don't have armor sitting behind their weapons. They've got to be very careful, especially Fugly with him only being at 8 HP. Very, very rough odds, and they are being flanked out right now by Stewie. Pulled off an amazing flank in the previous round that wasn't caught, and he might just have another one happening here in the next 5 seconds. I think he spotted, yep, looks like he spotted Fugly, so down he goes. And now it's just JDM, and he's basically in a box right now over here on the top of drop.
Stewie's getting very, very mobile in the mid-round, in the middle portions of these rounds, and he's cut him off that flank the other round that really saved the day, and now this time around. So CLG's got to be very mindful that Stewie's going to start pushing up and everything, and now he's just trying to distract. JDM's been spotted out by Shroud, gets the leg down his own, and Skadoodle's going to finish him off. So 12 to 11, the gap has closed. CLG has lost 5 in a row, full losing bonus. JDM's going to be back on the AWP. They have all the utility they could want, but they haven't really had a gun round where they haven't just sent all 5 towards B and sat outside that bomb site and tried to execute something. They haven't even really put any pressure onto the A site. Now they're finally going to go to it, it looks like. 3 members streaming out towards that open area of mid.
This could just be to make some noise, though, and then rotate back in, because they threw the bomb down just outside of the halls. Fugly's going to hope someone gets aggressive, but instead he only gets a molly to block out his own path. Meanwhile, the 2 that are sitting a little bit closer towards B, Tarek's making a lot of noise. I don't know if they're just catching someone that gets over-aggressive, jumping up on top of Broken Wall itself, and it's pretty much the same story for Cutler, just making noise, trying to draw attention. Then there's Freak with the wild peek back over towards long A, catches Hazed, and the slow-paced play from CLG ends up biting them in the ass, as now they're down a player.
4 on 5 now. Cloud9 can play it a little bit more passively. You can can see Stewie getting boosted up onto the platform. He's going to have an early spot once the smoke clears. It does get refreshed, though, by the team. And yeah, I mean, either you were exactly right, or CLG just gets a little bit intimidated by that pick over towards the A side, because they've all left after making their presence known. Now all 4 members have wrapped over towards this B bomb site, so they don't want anything to do with A. And there's 3 members here, including Stewie, who's pushed up, and they're going to have to molly him out of this position, but I don't think...
They don't know he's there.
Yeah, JDM does have a Molotov, but it doesn't look like he's going to use it here whatsoever, so this might be a couple free kills. Yeah, he swings out, he misses the shots, but it doesn't matter. Nice teamwork with Skadoodle, who grabs both of them. He's done his job, and now it's just Cutler and Fugly.
They try to push out. There's actually a flash that makes Skadoodle miss his first connection. However, nonetheless, Shroud will pick up a first kill on a Cutler. Fugly trades it back out, but then very quickly freaks away, but the secondary out comes in to close things out, and now we'll be tied up at 12 rounds. And specifically talking about this B site, it's just sort of become this unstoppable power combo now, where you have Stewie and Skadoodle. Whenever Stewie ends up failing, because he's the first line of defense, Skadoodle just comes in to clean up whatever was left.
The big thing is, I mean, why haven't they just tried to just hit it as fast as possible? I mean, that's what Cloud9 did to him. Now they've done some slow executes on the B bomb side. That gets shut down. Now they've worked to A slow, and that gets shut down as well. So, speed things up. It seems like their aggression is really being contained nicely by Cloud9. And now even Nothing and Freakazoid are going to double team on this mid ramp. They have a pretty decent stack going on. Freakazoid with that AWP. Nothing is just in the corner. Shot rings out, so maybe trying to bait him through, but no aggression early on from CLG Gaming, just like this entire half set up in a very spread out default, and they haven't been able to take advantage of anything that Cloud9's throwing at them.
Nothing's just going to be a statue outside of the mid connector there. However, most of the players from CLG, and keep in mind again, this is going to be a fake with 2 actual players potentially heading in towards the B-bomb site. The 3 players will try to push out towards long A. They obviously know they're there now with the noise they're making. However, they try to do this like 3 or 4 rounds in a row now to a certain degree. So if C9 are smart, they're going to see this coming, just wait it out, and still keep the majority of their defenses on the B-bomb site, which is what it looks like they're doing. I think Shroud's going to position himself outside of drop, because now he can even hear the grenades coming back in towards window. So he knows exactly what's happening, and I think he's going to stick around on B now, where the bomb might actually end up coming in towards.
Well, no one has the bomb at the moment, so 2 members down drop, Tarek and Cutler. They can't pick it up and go back towards A, so there's got to be success, and if they take this site without the bomb, actually someone's going to go get it right now. 30 seconds left, Tarek, he's got to clear to his left. Shroud gets that first kill, Cutler does clean it off, but there's Freakazoid with the ops, still doing some work.
Now Cutler has to actually find a way into the site, but the plan has changed. Now that they've retrieved the bomb, they're going towards A instead, because they have a wedge driven between the 4 remaining players on C9. So technically it's a 2-on-3 to at the very least get that bomb down. Nothing shutting it down. Cutler, he arrives at the balcony, takes down Nothing, but then Freak pressing on forward, takes down Fugly, kicks up the trade, and as well the final kill too, shutting out Cutler himself. C9 hold on strong, and I'll take the lead 3 more away from closing out their first match today.
Who would have thought it's going to be Freakazoid with the op just anchoring this A bomb site into this? CLG, they're going to look back on this and say, how did we not get a single gun round on the terror side of Kabul? And then they're going to look at it and say, oh, Freakazoid just destroyed us every time we went towards the A bomb site. We got wrecked by Skadoodle every time we went B. So they're just getting crushed by these op setups, and it's just one rifle with each playing a little bit support, playing very, very well together, and CLG has no answer. Now they're just going to stream through mid with no armor, with the upgraded pistols. Nothing and Freak combined for 3 kills, so it's a 2-on-3 as they come out, and Shroud's going to be here for the cleanup.
Fugly's going to be able to sneak through with at least 1 more kill as Shroud ends up running out of bullets on his M4. Now there's Skadoodle pressing forward. He actually didn't see him. So there's a bit of an awkward exchange there as neither player ends up fighting each other. Actually,
what is this?
They think he went back down ramp, so he's going to be able to get a free plan out of this at the very least. They still don't know.
Is happening?
They just realized what happened. So that's a big mistake from C9 because now they've given them the free money, whereas previously this round was just going to be a complete wash. Also, he's got the op, and if they just come back out towards drop, he's in a good position to counter it. However, C9 are actually being pretty smart about this one. They counter boosted Stewie, so he should be able to take him down without too much conflict. He's waiting for him, he legs him. However, thankfully for Cloud9, Fugly was the last player left alive, so they're still going to be able to handle this round quite nicely.
That's insane. All right, then. Yeah, I mean, the plant's not a huge deal because they had the full losing bonus, and they also didn't fully buy into that round, so they were going to have crazy money no matter what. But, yeah, either way, CLG now don't have many more rounds to play with. What's crazy is outside of Skadoodle, who probably hasn't died in a while because he had 16K, I mean, they're starting to whittle this money down, and I mean, with 12 rounds, if they can break the economy just once, if they win 2 in a row, that's going to put them in a fantastic position with Cloud9 having to be on an eco, and when CLG is sitting at like 14 rounds, so they've got to come up with something here, and once again, it's back towards the heavy B play. One member outside of A, that's just going to be JDM, and he's just going to play on his own, but he misses the shot. That was the one he wanted. He can't hit it, so no advantage for CLG.
And CLG taking their time, but they've got the smokes thrown in from the CTs too. Stewie back to holding that close-up position. He actually heard one of the players jumping down, but he's been flashed, so he doesn't want to take a risk on peeking out. They still don't know he's there, despite him playing this position in like 3 rounds previously where they were shut down by him. So there we go, picks up one. He's a little bit delayed on jumping down after his teammate though, so he is going to be able to find the trade. Even out, now we see nothing, picking up an additional kill, but so did Hayes, and Freak just rolls in through the molly, picks up an additional kill with the op. Nothing, I think, also found 2 kills for himself, so it's just on JDM. Doesn't have the bomb, he's still stuck on top of platform too. He's got plenty of time to work this. He still has to take down these 2 players, hoping this pop flash will be the dream flash now, but only really connects on a Freak. However, that's enough. He picks him up, but he's too slow to get back behind cover. So Nothing's going to be able to jump back out, find the trade, and end the round once again for C9.
Oh, man. So close, yet so far. Now, CLG, definitely no more rounds. This is insane how many rounds they have lost in a row. They've lost 9 now in a row. All right then. So no joy on the gun rounds. Can't find anything to give them success whatsoever. 15-12. Cloud9 has made an incredible comeback off the back of Freakazoid as the secondary opper, anchoring this A bomb site, just shutting things down whenever CLG tried to switch things up. And now it's up to them to find some kind of answer. You know, we still haven't seen a pause.
Nope. And in terms of what we're seeing strategy-wise from CLG, there's like nothing really new happening after all of their attempts to try and push these sites have failed. You're right, there hasn't been a single gun round victory. In fact, I think every single eco round from CLG has actually gone better than every single gun round, just in terms of how many people they managed to take down from C9 and just how close they got to actually winning the round. So this time, it looks like they're going to try for something similar they did previously. They got the bomb closer towards A this time. However, there's players waiting to shut them down in this long A push. There's nothing. Freak actually picked up the first kill, but nothing was there to support in case he missed. The molly gets thrown down. Now they can't really push through this. Nothing gets fully flashed. They could have attempted to do it, but they didn't know the flash connected. And now this entire plan is dead. I don't think they know they have the bomb sitting that far back, but regardless, they can feel much more secure on this A bomb site.
It's a good thing nothing threw that Molotov, because Freak like smoked himself off, so he couldn't support nothing if a second player came through like that. But doesn't matter. Now look at the repositioning that Nothing and Freak have. Nothing close up towards mid. That's a nice pop flash. There's good cover though. That forces Nothing back. So well done, but he can't hit the second one. Freak out in the open. He gets another kill, and now he's falling back behind the APC. He's going to get a third. No, he can't hit that shot onto Cutler. One more peek for him, but Cutler does take him out. A secondary player at the APC gets dropped by JDM. This is looking good finally for CLG, but they've got to worry about Stewie on the flank one more time.
Currently nobody watching ramp either, so Cutler, he's got his eye peeled on door. He could react to this quickly enough, but Stewie pressing up. He's going to have support coming in through Skadoodle, but it'll be a little bit later. There's Stewie, though. Taking down Cutler. Cutler was not aware of the push coming back in. Skadoodle finding an additional shot back over towards A long as he was a new addition to the equation. It's just Fugly hanging out behind the shed, sitting back here with the bomb. He's only got a single flash. He's trying to be sleuthy, sneaking around these players, and so far it's working, but he missed the jump, and I think they just heard him drop down. The defuse is already well on its way, and Stewie just shuts it down. Skadoodle grabs the defuse with no pressure on him at all, and that's going to end it 16-12 with an incredible turnaround from C9.
It's just heartbreaking, isn't it? That's a really, really, really rough terrorist half for CLG. That kind of thing can't happen. Especially some of those retakes, the post plants that they lost. That last one, 3-on-2. There was that one round, that one eco round they had where Stewie flanked long, got a couple kills. So yeah, they just get crushed in that second half. What a nice comeback from C9. In the unlikeliest of fashions. Who would have thought that Freakazoid would be opping like that on CT side Cobble?
Big heroes of that last half there, and we just look at the CT stats specifically, was Stewie, of course, came out in a huge way, picked up 13 kills on that half alone, was absolutely unstoppable playing just below that broken wall position. CLG, I don't think they ever became fully aware that was his spot to play. I only saw one round where I think it got mollied out and he was forced to play out of position due to that. And not just that, but you've already mentioned it plenty of times. Freakazoid did insanely well there too. He picked up 12 frags on that second half. Nothing, although I don't think we saw as much from him. That was like sort of highlight worthy, but he as well managed to pick up 12 frags in that second half too. So there was some good work from him in terms of turning around his own performance from what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, so that being said, I believe you mentioned the next map was going to be Overpass, and we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have that all prepared for you guys. So stick around, and we'll be back soon.
Again is going to be CLG versus Cloud9. Cloud9 just took the first one back over on Cobblestone. They're starting out very, very weak indeed on their terrorist side. They rounded it back quite nicely and absolutely dominated their second half. So now we're going to see how things go here on the second map, which once again will be Overpass.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. It's got to make you worried as well that no matter how good this CTF goes, that terror side from CLG just nothing. There was no production whatsoever. At least this time on the CT side, they're taking some initiative. They have a boost going, and there's Tarek again, opening up the pistol rounds very, very nicely. Gets that first kill. Fugly responds with a second, but now they've been forced back just a little bit. Stewie gets the opening kill for Cloud9. Now entering and encroaching onto this bomb site. Actually, Short's going to get smoked off, so this is a pretty decent position, and look at what Cloud9's doing. So smart. Cutler's going to get caught off guard, but he somehow managed to live and get two. What a play.
And now it's back down to a 2 versus 1. Just nothing left alive. Should still be able to sneak away with the plant, but the remaining members of CLG being very, very cautious. Just to keep in mind the potential that he could wrap back around. However, that's going to be killed now after he goes for the plant on the A-bomb site, and they actually aren't leaving themselves a whole lot of time to grab this retake. Fugly and JDM moving back in. The kit currently not in anyone's possession on CLG. I don't know if they picked one up this time, but regardless, they're not going to have it. Now they try to box in nothing, and it works out. They'll be able to close him out purely off of the efforts of JDM once again. There should still be enough time to get the full 10-second defuse.
Alright, that play from Color just saves the day.
Yeah.
Just saves the day. I actually really like that call from Cloud9 as well, knowing that there were two members at short. They just smoke it off and push forward, and Cutler wrecks him. So really nicely done. Another pistol round. Actually, that's all 3 pistol rounds that have gone to CLG in this matchup so far.
And with the big shutdown from CLG coming in, they'll be able to invest quite nicely into the first real round here as Cloud9 actually, again, very weak response to it, not going to invest in armor or anything despite getting the defuse, but they are going to upgrade the pistols to a certain degree compared to what we saw in the previous map. P250s for most of the players, but Skadoodle and Stewie are going to pick up the Tech 9s. There's also a Nova in play on Hayes, but he may not get a chance to use it. He's completely blind, dig down to 4 HP, and shut out, however, the rest of CLG, dispatching the members of C9 quite nicely. And there we have it. Stewie to pick up one more kill before it ended 2, so they'll do some damage, but not anything huge, as CLG will pick up their second round quite cleanly beyond that.
Yeah, pretty nicely done. Stewie does get 2 kills in that round with low investment. With the plant as well in the first round, you can see AK-47's coming out for Cloud9. 5 of them on the board. They have decent utility as well. 2 smokes, a Molotov, and then a bunch of flashes across the whole team. So CLG's going to be under some pressure this round. 4 members of Cloud9 streaming out towards Fountain. Fugly, I don't know if he spotted it. He did swing out just a little bit. It looked like he was trying to get the information, but now they've heard the AKs ring out. They know the buy is up, so they've got to set up a defense here, and it's going to be Fugly and Cutler combining in the bathrooms at this A-bomb site to try and keep the pressure away as long as possible.
Cloud9 taking it very, very slowly to begin with here. Cutler again being very investigative as he jumps up and down, finally spots something, I do believe, or at the very least he's fired back upon. So now he's going to retreat, but he's caught by Freak just before he rounds the corner. Fugly on the repeat though, he's going to be able to catch him and now takes up his own safe position behind the truck. Cloud9 still hold the advantage here into 4-on-3, nothing. Has taken some heavy damage from his previous duel, down to 3 HP. And 2 of the remaining members, great pop flash there as well. Coming in from the back there, support from his teammate. Fugly's going to be able to take down Freakazoid off of the hinges of this zone, and once again, the odds are even back up down to a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, the question is, what's this timing going to be like with this duel between Nothing and Hayes? Because Nothing has lurked out Monster. Hayes is going to go for it, but this crouch by Nothing, look at what this is allowing him to do. Hayes still hasn't spotted it. Now he sees the head, but Nothing gets the shot. So with only, 3 HP, he clears out the B bomb site, and this defense is going to be reeling. Fugly's going to be on the rotate. He doesn't have a lot of HP to work with either, so he can't be too aggressive. He's got to take this angle and just hope he can land this shot, and this could be the saving grace of the round if he can nail it. Not going to be able to, though, quite yet. They're not streaming out. Here comes another flashbang, and finally now Cloud9 comes out, but Skadoodle responds. The rebuttal. And JDM, not much for him to do here in this 1-on-3.
Yep. The shot from Skadoodle basically just kills the entire round, because now you get to JDM, he's just going to run away. There's nothing that he could possibly do to try and resist this. We'll put his position back over here towards upper, in hopes of finding an exit on Skadoodle or anyone else that may be out in the open here on the site. Tries to find nothing, grabs him, and actually might just go crazy here, jumps into the site, but he's tagged midair, down to 13 HP now. He still has 2 flashbangs, so he can try to pop something over, but just goes for the peak. Nothing to support him with this one, and Skadoodle will shut him down quite nicely as he only had that 13 HP.
That lurk from nothing was so well done. That crouch just underneath the lip of that ramp was insane. Hayes couldn't see him whatsoever. He was even peeking it pretty deep. He was even pretty far up that ramp. He would have definitely seen nothing if he was standing, but really wonderfully done by nothing on the lurk. So he opens up the B bomb site. That's going to be the first round for Cloud9. Combined with the 2 kills in the previous round from Stewie, that forces a save out of CLG. Tarek's down at 1400, so this actually might be... this will not be a double save, actually. They'll buy in the next round with enough money. Nicely done from Cloud9, though, to open things up.
So taking a look at where Cloud9 are going to move towards, actually a lot like the last map too, they're still taking this very slowly despite CLG being broke. Haven't exactly been given the evidence to brutalize this as of yet, but just going to be a waltz into the B-bomb site now as everyone from CLG originally was stocked here, but a lot of the players rotated off, and this is going to end up being a big mistake because now they're at a position in addition to being sort of outmanned and outgunned here now. So nothing, picking up an additional kill, shuts down JDM. They catch Tarek before he can get into the CT cubby, and the 2 left alive are sort of stuck around this corner here. Perfect flash. No kills at all going on to any of the members of C9 for that round as Freak picks up the final 2. Easy pickings for C9 to now tie us up at 2 rounds for either team. As we take a look at the investments, though, CLG still good to go here on round number 5 to get actually everyone except for Tarek, as he's looking a little bit lower than the rest of the team. But for everybody else, though, we still have the op on JDM. He's going to take the risk of going for the glass cannon op. Assuming he doesn't go anywhere past Flower Box, I would say would be in a safe position. He's actually going to jump up on top of it. So if he catches some fish going back over towards long A, then he's definitely going to be able to pick up a couple kills in a safe spot. And there we go. Tries to connect, but is going to miss, and unfortunately has to fall away from that.
Yeah, he's going to go for a repeat as well, down to 15 HP, so he takes a lot of damage early on, no success. Now he's got to fall very far back, and yeah, Shroud's there to cut off the fallback. Nicely done from C9. Force JDM back, force the Opera into a situation where he has no cover, and Shroud picks him off. Stressful for JDM, but now the hit is on. Fugly finds 1 kill. Stewie just going to run right through the smoke, and he's trying to find him, and that's got to be frustrating for Fugly. Stewie finds him in the smoke. Now he can clear out Cutler as well. Great entries from Stewie. The A-bomb site is taken over, and now it's just Tarek only has a CZ. This retake is going to be very difficult.
All the utilities also been used. They just have a flashbang on Hazed. And pretty much everybody from C9 is dug into their post plants by this point in time as well. So the peak comes out. There's Freak with the 1 tap. Eliminates Hazed. And even tries to go for the second one there too. Flicks it a little bit too early, but nothing handles that. And he was pretty much a dead man regardless. So there we go. Cloud9 now pick up a 3rd round. They're going to take the lead. And CLG, as per the usual rotation, now have to transition onto their save. Would you apologize?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. We were trying to, there's no guns on some of these players, so you can see that we're switching over to restart the game really quick. But it is just going to be another save round for CLG. They've been beat up, and this is a good start for C9. They've won 2 gun rounds now. And they have complete control of the economy. Next round, CLG, they've got to get on the board. This is a rough start for the CT side of Overpass. If Cloud9 builds up too many rounds early on with the economic advantage, then it's going to be really tough for CLG to get back into this game.
Cloud9 again, just taking that very slow, very methodical approach to getting themselves onto the site, but still pretty consistent movement now as we take a look. Shroud picking up a first kill on a JDM. There's 2 players stacked inside of Connector. One of them just been eliminated. That's JDM going down. And now Fugly, he's going to hold on to the steps. There's actually nobody playing towards Park, but I think they realize the potential for a second player to be moving in. So we'll get smoked off, and Shroud's actually just going to sit back and wait for these players to approach because beyond this 1 kill that he's picked up, everybody else on C9, they just walked onto the site, and that patient play from Shroud pays off perfectly. Now he finds Fugly, that second player has gone down, and Cutler, as he attempts to lurk back around, if maybe find revenge with a Shroud, nothing has now taken his place, and he's going to be waiting in the exact angle that Cutler's coming from.
Yeah, no chance for Cutler here. So nicely done, Cloud9, really well. Freakus has already built up $12,000. And yeah, everyone has just skyrocketed in terms of money. So nicely done from C9, 4-2. This is the run that CLG needs to get back on the board. JDM back on the AWP. Didn't have any success with it out towards long last time. This round it looks like he's going to go over towards the B bomb site. Maybe try and find a pick that way, but Cloud9 in complete control. Not losing any members early on in these rounds.
So, for C9 now, taking a look at where their players are heading towards. Everybody actually going to go down towards Lower Park, but look at that flash. It just completely stopped them, along with that great grenade that was thrown in. Cutler picking up 1 kill, almost finishing off the second player. Freakazoid tries to go way inside there in hopes of catching Cutler off guard, but it's not going to work. He now finds an additional pickup. Fugly's paying attention to behind these players, but now they can both just look straight in through the bathroom connector. Not only have they dispatched 3 of the members of Cloud9, but the bomb is currently sitting down directly in front of them too. So Cloud9 messed up majorly, and now Skadoodle is going to try to turn this back around. Goes for the peak, misses his shot. It's behind cover safely enough, and there's a great nade that goes on to Cutler. Brings him down very low to 26, and the smoke should allow them to retrieve the bomb at least, but still a 2-on-5. The odds are definitely still not with these players, to say the least, as Tarek comes barreling out to the connector there, shuts down one of them. Skadoodle finds a trade at least, but Fugly finally wrapped around back through the site, is able to take him down.
Yeah, Freakazoid losing that bomb. That action happened so quickly that Cloud9 just got a little bit disorganized there in the hectic push from CLG. Nice round from Cutler, but Freakazoid dropping the bomb forced nothing to stall out. Couldn't push forward with his teammates. They had to reassess and get that bomb, but couldn't manage to do it. So a nice defense from CLG, controlling bathrooms really, really well. Nothing's going to throw out an early Molotov. That's going to land towards short to prevent any kind of push, any kind of aggression. Meanwhile, 3 members set up over towards Playground, just slowly working their way. Still, I mean, this is the thing. Now that the aggression worked out so well for CLG in the last round, Cloud9's taking this much more cautiously, making sure they can't get whittled down early on. And JDM has an angle towards Monster. Nothing's got to be very, very careful when he decides to cross back. He's going to flash it. Doesn't cross, but they know he's to the left of Monster.
Now they're just going to wait for him to peek out. He has to use the smoke to try and get himself out of here. At least another very well-placed flash. The one previously did connect on a JDM. The smoke comes in, but maybe it actually works as perfect bait, because Tarek just tries to run through that in hopes that that was going to be the signal he was retreating. And now nothing manages to close out at least one of the players from CLG. JDM, though, not biting on the bait. He sits back behind Monster. He's waiting for him to come outside, where in the meantime, Cloud9, they're making progress with the bomb now to push over towards long and to get onto the A bomb site itself. Then there's Fugly doing some good damage to Stewie. He's down to 15 HP, and the rest of the team falls back to go towards short A instead.
Yeah, nothing has just wreaked havoc over towards this B bomb site with that push from Tarek that he gets the kill on. So CLG can't really afford to rotate anyone over. Despite the damage taken by Stewie, he gets 1 more kill at the A bomb site, but I mean, this is coming towards B. JDM's going to be all alone, completely blind as well. Nothing and Freakazoid combined to take him down, and I mean, Hayes is in a complete awful position and just gets destroyed by Shroud. Another really, really nice gun round from Cloud9, just picking apart CLG.
And unfortunately, that play from nothing diverted, at least it seemed to be like way too much attention from CLG. So they spent all this time paying attention to him, whereas in the meantime, the A defense just falls completely apart. And C9, actually, after meeting a little bit of aggression that's thrown back at them, mainly over towards the long A, they fall back, go through connector. They completely forget the fact that, hey, these players can actually come in through construction. And then it says just left to JDM to defend that site. He's completely overwhelmed. He's shut down. The bomb goes on the floor way too easily. And now, as you've seen, it was just left to Fugly, who is going to be able to hold out at least for a little bit longer as he picks up a kill on Freak. But now they know where he is, and they will be trying to take him down. It's out in the open. Actually finds 1 more kill, but Shroud will take him down, meaning 0 saves for CLG heading into the next round.
Yeah, they can't string a second round together, so it resets the economy. Fugly and Hayes can afford to buy, but Cutler, Tarek, and JDM don't have enough to do really much of anything. So CLG going to be back onto just pistols. Cloud9 looking to really start running away with this half. They're going to get another pretty easy round here as long as they don't mess anything up. I mean, JDM, they can't even upgrade pistols. They're just so low on money that there's nothing that they can really do.
So CLG will just try to spread their players out thin, but aggressively enough this time around, at least over towards the A portion of the map. The 2 on B are actually sitting pretty stable right now, as Hayes is going to put himself just behind the safe plant position, waiting for the players to push construction. And C9 just taking it so casually, hanging back, waiting for this aggression. They're going to take their time with this one, and it pays off. Stewie on the peak. 2 shots are all it's needed to take down Fugly and get an opening advantage once again here. Cutler will look for a trade. Without armor, he's going to be shut down pretty easily, too, by Freak.
And now Shroud getting really close up into this A bomb site, just trying to run his way in. There's actually one still on the site. He doesn't know he's there. I think he just spotted him. He also knows there's one upstairs, so Shroud wins that battle, and Stewie protects his backside. And that's going to be an easy take for C9, so CLG reeling at the moment. It's going to be 6-3 into the next round. CLG's got to find a way, if they're going to do these more aggressive stances. I mean, it worked out just a couple rounds ago, but outside of that, the last push from Tarek gets punished. They've got to find some way to at least trade off these kills if they're going to be the ones being aggressive, because losing a player here and there when you're pushing forward on this map just makes it too hard. And Cloud9's just kind of slow playing this. They're not being too aggressive once they get those picks. They're biding their time. They're making CLG very confused as to where the end game is going to be. So this is a good half being put together so far from C9. And it's going to have to be, I mean, this is the answer too. Hayes has 0 kills right now, but JDM on Cobble was the one who came to play. 30-some kills for him, and this time, this map, he's a little bit quiet right now. So who's going to be the one to step things up for CLG?
Taking a look at Cloud9, though, it's just a direct play, at least at the beginning of this round. Everybody's moved over here just outside of Monster, and it doesn't look like anyone for the team is even going to divert over towards water either. So it's all on Tarek to hold this initiative. There's no smokes, no flashes, or anything on the way in either. But Shroud picking up the first shot, shuts down Hayes further back. Tarek with a good enough response, but he's blind, so he's going to wildfire spray back over to his right. That gives away his position, and Stewie will take him down immediately after that. So it's down to a 4-on-3. The save call, as you just mentioned, already coming out from CLG. Nothing they can do as Cloud9 moving in too quietly initially. They take control of the site far too quick.
That's actually a really, really nice call from Cloud9 from nothing. Knowing that the economy has been beat up from CLG, knowing they probably don't have all the utility, all the smokes and Molotovs that they'd want to block off Monster, just walk right through it. Don't announce your presence until you take the first shot. Shroud gets a really clean kill at long range, and Tarek's left all alone. So CLG that time tried to do a little bit more of a presence at the A bomb site, and they get punished for it. So C9 just running over him on this map. JDM is going to get a parting kill here, and they're going to be able to save the rest of these weapons. One more onto Stewie, who goes for the hunt. But plenty of money built up on the terrorist side.
So easily another buy-through coming in on it. Freak specifically loaded in cash at this point with $13.7 thousand after the buy. He's not even the one leading frags either, just not even the one lowest on deaths, so it's not even like he's been alive the most, just been probably the most consistent player doing his job. So for C9, still a very good lead and probably looking to build it up even more as the guys on CLG have gone for another buy-up this time around. They've got the op in the hands of JDM. However, Scudo much more fast to get into his position just outside of Monster. So in his attempt to peek, he's shut down. But then Tarek, great pop flash from him and peek, takes down Scudoodle and finds the trade.
Yeah, nothing's very close up on short though, behind the sandbags. He is smoked off, which is lucky for Tarek as he fell back. He would have been exposed and a nade lands right onto nothing. Nicely done. He's down to about 55 HP. But still, CLG outside of that opening kill have no indication of where this hit is going to come into play. 3 members of Cloud9 outside the B bomb site while Shroud works his way to the door. There is an aggressive play from Fugly and Color, the same one that had success just a few rounds ago in the bathroom, so they'll at least have a quick flank going on. As long as Hayes, who's like the only one here, Tarek's up above, he's smoked out, he's got to jump down. They know there's a couple players in water. This is going to be such a hard defense to mount from this position, and they're blind. They're getting swung on. Shroud with a double kill. They can't delay long enough for this flank to be successful whatsoever. Nothing still hasn't moved. This is going to be just a save call from Fugly. Cutler might be a little bit too committed to even get out of here with this Famas.
He's lurked his way back over here towards Monster and has found it out, but Freak heard him, so he knows he's there. Ooh, completely missing the flick, so he's a dead man now. And I think Nothing just saw Fugly, too. I could be wrong. Actually, I don't think he saw him. So Fugly's going to sit on top of the steps. If he's heard him, then he may be able to take him out, but Nothing's going to come up on top, and yeah, he definitely did not see him previously. So Fugly will be able to pick up the free kill to Nothing at the very least. Now in a second, though, he might end up running into Shroud as he backpedals through the bathroom connector. And Shroud finding him, not connecting on the first shot, but the re-peek there. The one tap finishes the job, and Cloud9 do find their 8th round.
Yeah, this half is just already spun out of control from CLG. Once again, at a situation where now that they're 3-8, it almost maybe feels like they have to buy, but they're going to save here. They get some pistols. And this is really the last round they can afford to save in this half. Everything from here on out has got to be full buys for them. That economy reset in basically the middle of this half was just so brutal. They can't put together a decent buy off that. That wrecked their money for so long. Cloud9 playing a very, very intelligent half. JDM pushes downstairs. Shroud's waiting for it, though.
And JDM sitting back now. He's actually going to press forward to try and take down Shroud. But Shroud so far has been on point with his kills. Picks up that first one on the JDM. Cutler looking for a response, but not going to find it. Shroud is being fed some free kills at the beginning of this round. He's already up, or I should say he's down at 40 HP. However, that doesn't matter too much when he has teammates sitting right behind him to support. But he does end up going down. And for the remaining members of CLG, judging for their positions, no one is going to want to try and screw with him now, as they have to sit and actually defend the sites. For when C9 finally push forward and look to take them down. Another perfect pop flash allows Stewie to take down Hazed. And just like that, the defense is pretty much completely gone. So C9 should be able to just waltz into whichever side they choose.
The nade usage from Cloud9 in this match is annihilating CLG. I mean, it's just completely neutralizing anything CLG wants to do. So really, really nicely done from Cloud9, looking very polished on how they're supporting their teammates as they enter into bomb site. Another entry for Freakazoid. Tarek's the last one left. He does get Stewie, but Freakazoid closes things out with 2 kills of his own. So 9-3 now. Freakazoid now up to the 16k mark. Just to keep track of that. JDM has the AWP. Still hasn't had too much success. The last buy really for CLG, that if they can't win this one, then the rest of their buys for this half are going to be sketchy, but they're going to have to invest. They can't, I mean, they have to get towards 6 on the CT side.
The flash usage overall, not just in this map, but for the both of these maps too. Even go back to Cobblestone for a second as well. Even on that terror side where they really weren't doing all that well, I think that was one of the good things they had going for them, was that their flash usage and their utility usage specifically was doing a great job. But Shroud opens it up with 2 kills in this round.
It's
yeah.
All right. And what are you going to do to that? I mean, that wasn't even, as much as we talk about nade usage, to get a double kill in that situation with 1 flash. CLG, this map just seems to be not fully focused, missing a lot of kills that we normally see them get. So Shroud with a double kill there, now a 4-on-3 situation. And once again, Tarek is alone at B, and this is where Cloud9 is choosing to hit. That's a little bit early from Shroud, but Freakazoid has him pinned in, gets dinked. Now he's got to be a little bit more passive, and still no movement from Skadoodle and nothing in Monster. Now they finally come out, but that's going to allow Tarek to get away. That also allows the reinforcements to come in. Nade towards Tarek, he gets brought down towards 33, but this attack has been stalled out for a little bit. So there's a chance of success here for CLG. Still nothing in Skadoodle are contained over towards Monster. Nothing's going to sweep out. Gets the kill through the smoke. Tarek was so low, and Skadoodle covers him. Hayes tries to come up the ramp. Gets dropped, and Skadoodle's going to close things out. Cutler up top falls. 10-3 there. What can you say in this one?
Hayes is having a rough match.
Yeah,
that's
you can definitely say that.
0-12, only 2 assists. So it's not even like he's just having trouble finishing players off. It's just that it's a rough match, to say the least.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, yeah, he's the glaring one because he has no kills. But I mean, this is a rough match for all of them. I mean, there's been a lot of missed kills by the CLG guys that you would expect them to get more often than not. So here's a little bit of a change. Fugly and Cutler this time going to be aggressive out towards long. The standard tree and rock setup. The bait and switch. Cutler at the tree. Fugly close up. No one from Cloud9 has peeked or anything just yet. It's going to be Freakazoid and Stewie2K there to try and really neutralize this aggression. Skadoodle as well joins up with the AWP, and that might just be the clincher.
And Shroud actually just decides to push forward this time. He's been sitting back, waiting for someone to peek him, and it's been working for all this time. But there's a pop flash this time. Finally, Hayes is now on the board as he catches Shroud, just wildly peeking outside of the door. And that's good too, because actually the rest of CLG is also picking up quite a few kills. Cutler finding 2. Think back over towards long A's. He takes out Freak and Skadoodle. The entire offense actually gets decimated this time around, but there's still nothing. Managing to scavenge it up now after he finds a kill on a Cutler, but they're very, very low at 11 HP. Finding a duel versus Hayes. Can't connect that final shot that's needed to end the round. And he is going to get finished off via a nade from Hayes. So it's 4-10 now as we head into the final round.
First one's the hardest. And then he gets up to 2. Nicely done. No more goose egg for Hayes. But still, plenty of money on the C9 side, so no issue with them buying. With that win, and only losing 2 players, I mean, the utility on the CLG side is pretty nice. Only Tarek is really suffering, which is actually kind of crucial. That's a little bit of an important fact, because Tarek's been the one who's anchored this B bomb site. When everyone rotates away, he's been kind of the last one left in a solo position there. So for him to only have now no nades, he uses his flash immediately. Could be a little bit sketchy later on in the round, depending on how this plays out for C9.
C9 back to a very cautious and very held back style of play here, whereas CLG actually kind of taking the same page here, with the exception of Fugly. Everybody's pretty preserved. Cutler's sitting back behind Flower Box. That's still a very safe position in my eyes. But C9 stacking up for a potential big push to come out over towards Party, along with Long A in a moment here, but they're holding back, a little bit scared of what happened in the previous round. Actually, CLG are biting on this a little bit. Fugly is going to fall back. There's a perfect flash again. It's going to force Fugly inside a bathroom connector, and for the time being, Cutler's stuck behind a flower pot too. Gets hit by that nade, down to 78 HP. The peak comes out, but there's a good flash coming in from the CTs, but it doesn't actually take anyone down. As Skadoodle's sitting back there, he's waiting. Stewie finding another pickup here for the terrorists now as he brings Fugly down to 6. Or apologies, he takes down Fugly, and himself he's down at 6 HP. So 5-on-3 is now left alive here And Shroud's going to try to push through short A here. Oh,
right.
Nice headshot there as he takes out JDM. And again, unfortunately, this round is basically over at this point. He's only one player left to defend either site.
Yeah, Tarek's gonna win out against nothing, but I mean, look at Hayes. He's in the A bomb site all alone. Too many players for him to really deal with. So Tarek's in a 1-on-4. I mean, the big thing here too is JDM this match. He's 6-11, but he just hasn't had the impact that he had on Cobble, and it's been because of the calling, because of the flashbangs and the nade usage of Cloud9. He's been pretty mobile in terms of his positioning throughout this half whenever he's at the op, but Cloud9 keeps kind of finding ways to go away from the AWP for the initial action. So once they drop a player or two and JDM hasn't been involved, it's really hard for him to get into position and figure out where the attack is going to come from. So just a really well put together match by Cloud9 where they didn't really have to execute too much on the bomb sites. They got so many opening picks throughout that half. CLG could never really keep all 5 alive into the late stages of the round.
And now we go back over to CLG on the T side once again, and we hark back to the last map where they didn't win literally a single gun round in the entire half. So this is another rough spot for them too. And if the map performance is not going to be significantly improved compared to what we just saw back on Cobblestone, combine this with the fact that they really just dropped the ball on the CT side. So mentally speaking, they're probably going to be at a pretty big disadvantage here. The factors are not looking good at the very least to allow a comeback now with Cloud9 having an 11-4 lead.
No, yeah, this is, well, you got to think mentally, too. CLG's just kind of out of this. Like, they don't really have much going on whatsoever. No success in that first half, and especially after losing the first map in the way they did, that's just rough. So, mentally, more than likely checked out of this. It's going to take some kind of a big-time performance from one of the stars here early on in the second half if they even want to attempt to make a comeback. And also, I mean, one thing to consider as well that we didn't really bring up too much is CLG got 4 rounds. They won the pistol in the first half.
Yep. And that's basically where most of their rounds came from. So only one, I think we mentioned it at one point, only one real round being won in the entire half, and it actually ends up hurting them more than it helps them because it reset their economy, gave Cloud9 even more free rounds to pick up, so it just boosted their score even more. So consistency will also be a very big problem here for CLG, considering the fact that, again, only really one real round being won in that entire previous half. So to start it off, CLG playing very, very slowly, but most definitely leaning towards a B push here. Cloud9, they see this coming, though. They're very well prepared. They've done their homework. And Shroud just spotted Cutler just over that jump spot, too. So they know there is a presence here. And with these nades, it's just going to confirm it. The rotation's already well on the way. This could be a rough situation, to say the least, for CLG. But on the way in, there's Shroud picking up one headshot, picks up a second, freaks a little bit more forward there as he finds 2 of his own. JDM and Fugly all go down, and nothing tops it off. A full house of kills coming in from Cloud9 as they keep their lead going in 12-4. It's actually not a full house, so screw me. I was like, wait.
Why not?
I don't play poker.
Jesus. Everyone knows what a full house is. You can do it. Anyway, I mean, here's the thing. First pistol round of the series won by Cloud9, and that might just seal the deal on the second map. It is going to be a small investment from CLG. Actually, a pretty decent investment, although Fugly has the Deagle, didn't get armor. Yeah, the 2 Deagle players didn't get armor whatsoever, so this is a full buyout from CLG in any attempt to win this round and build up some kind of momentum. But that the unarmored Deagles are going to have a really rough time against these SMGs, and then a couple FAMASs mixed in there as well from Cloud9. And they have a pretty solid setup right now. CLG hasn't really committed anywhere. Freakazoid and Shroud manning up this B bomb site at the moment. And nothing now rotating back towards A, so that's going to just shore up this defense. He's going to be able to spot out towards the log while Stewie and Scoodle have a good crossfire set up over towards bathrooms.
And CLG starting to toss in some grenades now to hopefully allow them to press forward onto this bomb site. But as we've already mentioned, C9 have a very good defense lineup, at least for A. A little bit of pressure going on to nothing, but the pressure seems pretty weak, to be completely honest, coming out towards long A. But now the kills start to roll out there. Scoodle picking up a first one. Stewie jumping through the smoke. He finds another one. Getting into a battle with Tarek. Finally, something being picked up by these guys, but that's about it. They even know that Fugly is the last one alive and is inside of this smoke, so they eliminate him. And there you have it. Cloud9 shut them the second round as well.
Yeah, I mean, not really too much to say here. At this point now, Cloud9 is just being really, really hyper-aggressive whenever they spot anyone. And that's just kind of like a mental tactic almost. Don't let them have any space to work with those pistols, and also just make sure you swarm them. It just makes you feel as a player, when everything is piling up against you like that, it prevents you even more from mentally getting back into the game. So this is pretty much all said and done for CLG They're gonna have one buy in the next round to get something going, but they haven't had any plants. They don't have any bonus money, and it's gonna be a pretty light buy. Skadoodle here with the M4 is gonna knock down Hayes really early on, and these Glocks aren't gonna be able to do too much.
They're all just stuck here, too. That's the other problem. Cutler was the only one trying to pull off anything sneaky for this team, and he's just eliminated by Freak, and there you go. That's just a feast of kills for C9. Stewie picks up the final 3, even switching over to his USP for the last one. No one even going down, too, so even if we do see CLG now with the full gun investment coming and picking up an okay start by winning this first gun round, they're still going to have to get through C9 on at least one more buy-up. As you take a look at their money, everybody's got enough for at least one more full buy. As it actually looks like they're sticking with some of their anti-eco guns here, heading into this first gun round.
Look at the aggression from Cloud9. Stewie and nothing heading down towards the stairwell. How aggressive are they going to be? They're just going to boost up, and this is a nice pinch over towards short sewers. Freakazoid and Shroud also push through B just to make sure that there would be no aggression there. But they'd be able to eliminate any attack. That nade's going to do no damage to Fugly, surprisingly, and Stewie's gonna try and bail out, but he gets caught. All of CLG wraps around the stairwell. Stewie's out in the open, so good find early on from CLG. They still have to deal with Skadoodle, who's in bathrooms, but 3 members of Cloud9 are over towards this B bomb site, and they're away from the majority of the action from CLG.
Skadoodle definitely gonna be a big player here as this continues to move up. If these players do decide to continue pushing over towards long A, that is. However, speaking to the devil, JDM really able to shut out Skadoodle just as he pushed towards long A. Cutler finding 2 more after that, clearing things out down towards B, so now B is an open site. They can take full control of it regardless. It's a 5-on-1, so really no pressure on these guys at this point. So CLG now taking a page of the Cloud9's book. They just play it slow, hope Cloud9 get over aggressive, and with the start that Cloud9 had to this half, that's exactly what they do. And they pick up 4 kills right at the beginning of the round because of that. However, Shroud still going to be fighting at least to hold on to this A-bomb site. He picks up a first kill on a Tarek. Now they know where he is, though, and there's only a few places he can proceed after this, so they're just going to try to box him in and eliminate him without too much additional trouble.
Yeah, a lot of that had to do with just the weaponry, with Cloud9 saving. They had some FAMASs. They, I think Freak had an SMG. He had an MP7. And once they found themselves a man down with 3 players over towards B, their only real option was kind of just to push forward and see what they could find. Try and grab some intel with it, try and trade off a kill, but it was nicely managed from CLG, and Shroud's just the last one left alive here. So a good start from CLG once the guns do finally come out. But they're going to have plenty more behind this.
The problem, obviously, just adding on to your point, the problem is going to be the longevity of how they can push through this. I already mentioned before that C9 are going to have no trouble going for at least one more buy-up after this. So you still have another number, you have to get through it flawlessly, and then after that, you're still, at this point, at least 9 rounds behind your opponent. So that's a lot more you have to press through. Considering what we saw on the last map, the question is, can they keep this going consistently at this point? Because even one round pickup from C9 at this point just makes it to that, it's just going to be so hard to make a comeback even happen at this late of a stage in the game now. So CLG have to keep it basically flawless from this point forward.
Yeah, and now the op's out in Skadoodle's hands as well now. He's got it out towards long, up on top of the flower pots, and also Stewie pushing up close towards the tree. And CLG is just far, far back. They've been beaten to submission a little bit, so they're waiting for any kind of aggression. Want to see if Cloud9's going to be the one to push forward. Now they're going to work their way. JDM very, very close to peeking into the crosshair of Skadoodle. I think he has an idea. I don't know if he spotted Stewie, but he has an idea that it's there. He's trying to spam that tree and land a shot. 2 members going to swing out wide. There's the Molotov, but Skadoodle's there for the kill. And now Stewie decides to peek, and he gets dropped through the smoke. So a good trade, but Skadoodle still wreaking havoc.
Stewie was purely bait in that situation. All the fire was being thrown over towards the tree where Stewie was hanging out. Meanwhile, Skadoodle, there's literally nothing being tossed towards him, so he's free to just peek right out and pick up those 2 kills. And they find a trade. It still works out in their favor. And not only this, too, but there's been basically 0 progress made on pushing towards short A, so they have to abandon this, rotate down through the connector, and try to go for a play on B instead.
Pretty smart play by Stewie as well. He had a smoke out behind that tree. They actually threw a Molotov to try and force him out of position to get that kill, but with that smoke out, he deploys it almost instantly. Doesn't take much damage, and he doesn't have to run. Oh, nice flash. Freakazoid's completely blind, but he recovers in time for Cutler. Tarek's going to wheel around. Freakazoid blind one more time. There comes Fugly, but it's traded out. Nicely done from freaking Shroud, and it's all just down to Tarek. 1-on-3 situation. Going to be really tough to find his way to this bomb site. He's found Shroud blind, long range, deals the damage, but doesn't get the kill. And he spots his head, actually. Now he's just waiting for Shroud to peek back up, and Shroud's just playing with him right into the arms of Skadoodle with that AWP. 15-5, and a reset of the economy. So this last round for CLG, they do not have much to work with. I think JDM's actually going to be the only one with a rifle. Fugly might buy a Galil, but that's tough.
He goes for a Deagle.
Why not?
I haven't actually seen a whole lot of Deagles in this set, which is surprising because we've been seeing more and more of them recently.
Well, it's because CLG's won every pistol except for this the second half one here on Overpass, so they haven't had to buy too many Deagles.
That's very true. Even from Cloud9, though, haven't seen a whole lot of pickups from them. Just interesting, so I thought. But anyway, here on what's possibly going to be the final round, CLG, that consistency issue that we were just talking about becomes a big problem because they immediately fail in the round after that one. Now their economy is reset. They're forced up with Tech 9s, just upgraded pistols, and Fugly on a Deagle. JDM's got that only rifle. There's Cloud9, they're armed to the teeth. They've got everything they could possibly want to buy up here. And there's basically zero pressure on them at this point, whereas with CLG, everything hangs in the balance.
Skadoodle, aggressive angle with this AWP towards Bathrooms. Hayes looks like he wants to walk right into it. And he's kind of shoulder peeking things, clearing things out with his team. But Skadoodle is very confident to hold this angle because he's got the backup. Stewie and Nothing are stacked just to watch his left side, and Skadoodle is going to get that first kill. He's going to pick things off. And no one there to try and trade that kill or progress with it whatsoever, so Skadoodle is allowed to just smoke himself off, fall back, and play things passively.
Fugly and some more of the members of CLG now falling back over closer to their spawn, actually, as it looks like they're going to wrap back down and try to proceed through a monster to try to make a take on that B site. They do have Cutler waiting here, and he's getting ready to throw, I believe, his smoke in towards this site, but you've got Freak just on the other edge of Monster, putting his head away from the smokes. He actually does end up getting flashed, and he spots the play too, so he knows these players coming in, but wild inaccuracy on the rifle spray that time around. Cutler will be able to take him down before he can pick anything up, and it's only Shroud here on the site, so he has to bow away. CLG do get control, good smoke coverage too, but they're peeking for Shroud, so that's an easy kill for him to pick up. Not just this, but Nothing comes up from upper there. He shuts down Tarek, throws the bomb on the ground. There's only 8 seconds left. They've been overwhelmed now, so Cloud9 still maintain control of the situation, and they're going to shut down map number 2.
Yeah, a really sick performance from Cloud9. That first half put them in complete control, and they just ran away with it. Nothing CLG could do to get back into it. So after a first map collapse by CLG, just not even getting into the second game. So Cloud9 goes 2-0 in the evening. I believe that was their debut in Pro League. Those are their first 2 matches. So they start off 2-0. Nicely done from them. Yeah, that was just rough stuff. I mean, for CLG not to win Kabul after that first half that they had, that was really poor. In the second map, just say whatever you want. They never really got into it.
All right, guys. Well, map number 2 is going to be coming up here, or I should set number 2 is going to be coming up here in just a few moments. Actually, I already have it in warm-up, so it should be very soon. It's going to be Team Liquid versus Luminosity Gaming here at the ESL Pro League for North America, guys. Stick around, and we'll be right back. Live with it, and Liquid's going to get their start over here on the CT side, whereas Luminosity Gaming are going to be jumping onto the terrorist side. Let's get to it, guys. The maps as well, by the way, for these 2 matches are going to be the same as the previous one. We're playing them in reverse order. Obviously, as you can already see, first map will be played here on Overpass, whereas the second map, I believe we're going to hop back over towards Cobblestone for that one, and that will be taking place an hour from now as soon as this one concludes. Anyway, let's get started with the pistol round, and for LG, most of their players heading back over here towards the water fountain, but Simple is going to get aggressive, peeks it, but it's a very brief one. He falls directly back after getting the intel he needs, and they already know a lot of what Luminosity is doing due to this.
Yeah, especially seeing the bomb and everything like that, so good spot from him. He also gets away, doesn't take too much damage whatsoever. Hiko is pulling over towards this B bomb site. He's got a P250. He's also got a smoke and a flash, so he can delay something if he ever feels too much pressure, but look at how aggressive they're going to get on Taco. He's just behind the barrel. Eats a little bit of damage, but not too bad. Meanwhile, his team encroaches on this A site. Simple's in a tough spot. There's not a whole lot of cover, so he looks like he wanted to consider falling all the way back into the site. But here, if he gets pressured from long at all, which it's not going to happen, there's no one from Luminosity here, but trying to escape any kind of attack is going to leave him without any cover to work with.
But LG is still taking it very nice and very slowly. So they line up the smoke to roll into the site. The only smoke they've got. Taco also has a molly, but that's probably going to be his post plant here as they throw it in, but it doesn't actually look like they're moving into the site. Now, there we go. Now they're pushing in as the smoke covers it. Blind fire coming in for both sides of it, but Simple connecting one through the smoke, able to take down FNX. And now Fur shutting up another one. As Nitro actually peeking back out. He picks up 2 for himself. Fur and Cold both end up going down, and for Fallen, tries to trade it back, picks up Nitro, down to a 3-on-2 now, but with 30 seconds left, they don't actually have enough time, nor do they even have the bomb to fall back and retreat away from this one. They've got to try and push back in, but the odds are very heavily stacked against them now that the initial push has failed.
Yeah, this is where you need Liquid to play this very, very smart. Don't go for too many peeks. Don't commit to any fights until they're in the bomb site. They have to plant. There's 10 seconds left. This should be impossible for LG to win. Nice crossfire set up by the defense. Adren gets that kill. He's going to get the last one as well on a Fallen. So a nice pistol round. They have a stone-cold defense there in that A bomb site. They shut Luminosity down during the execute. So 1-0 for Team Liquid.
And that all starts off there, too, is Simple with that aggressive push back over there towards the waterfront at the beginning of the round. Gets that intel and allows for Liquid to put a lot more of their assets back over towards that A bomb site. So a good hold from those guys. LG, unfortunately, try to move into the site way too slowly, and the two remaining players are held too far back. So they're left in a very awkward exchange towards the end of the round, and they're shut down very slowly by Team Liquid. And now we see the immediate investment coming actually pretty heavy on the SMGs, to be completely honest. Normally see the 3 rifles or 1 P90 thrown into the mix, but they're just going all in on 3 SMGs, whereas Adren and Simple are going to be the ones to pick up the rifles. But they hold back. No crazy aggression with the exception of Simple moving out towards Long A to investigate things. And for Luminosity, their players are actually sitting back. They've gone for the full investment too, at least as far as they can. Tech9s and Fallen picks up the Scout to try and work something with that.
A little bit dangerous. Hiko actually misses a smoke, and that allows Fallen to get a shot off with the Scout. Doesn't tag him, but could have been a tough situation. But now he can't really re-peek. He's got to be very cautious about it. All of LG grouped up over towards this B bomb site. 2 at doors and 2 towards the short sewer exit. They go for the jumping shot. Nitro even takes some damage. Drops a nade, though. That's going to do some work on Otako. Softens him up just a little bit, but still, LG hasn't committed to this bomb site quite yet. The bomb is still close back towards Terra Spawn with over a minute left. They're forcing a lot of utility to be used on the Liquid side. So they're just kind of grinding that down before they decide to execute towards the end.
Somehow has not been tagged through the panel as of yet. They brought Taco down extremely low. But for at 13 HP was literally sitting next to the sprayable spot, but Lee's still not able to connect. There we go. Finally connects it after a second jump, allows it to pick it up. But FNX responds, coming in through Monster. Hiko's left out in the open, so they eliminate him. Now Nitro picking up an additional kill, but Elige still sitting down inside of the pit. Takes down Taco. Adren coming in to save the day up towards Heaven. After finally exchanging quite a few blows here. It's just Fallen left alive with that Scout. 15 seconds on the clock, and Elige, spraying from long range there with the UMP, eliminates Fallen and picks up the second round for Liquid.
Yeah, nice job from Team Liquid, not committing to any fights. When Luminosity initially puts pressure on there, they just do some damage, and they're not afraid to just outlast them in that bomb site. So eventually, the tools that Luminosity has runs thin as the health decreases, and now there's no buy whatsoever on their side. So Liquid's still able to keep, a couple SMGs alive. Hiko's only on a Tech9 just because he fell last round, saving up some money. Look at this push from Simple. He's got them all blind. A brilliant pop flash. They're just going to spray them all down. They line up. Simple with 3 kills and Dren with the remaining 2. Nicely done. No one falls for Liquid there.
Literally no regrets at all from Simple in that play either. No hesitation and maybe thinking about falling back. He just sticks it, wants to push directly in towards that, so shuts it all down. Luminosity don't even get a chance to do anything in that round. They're completely blindsided right within the first couple of seconds of it. But now we go into the first gun round, and it's a big investment from Luminosity. No op to be spotted just as of yet. Don't necessarily have the money to go for it, as you can see by them being pretty light on the utility side. But full AKs with the armor. Now we'll see what they'll have to play up against. The Nitro has actually chosen to stick with his SMG as well, so he'll be playing with that for at least this round.
Simple with the op, just holding an angle for someone to come out door. Occasionally swinging out a little bit wide to peek towards the stairs. Pop Flash is going to force Fur and Cold back. Simple still allowed to just kind of test both of these sides, and actually they get out. He's going to swing a little bit wider. He's not going to check all the way, though, and he might just fall back. He's mollied. He's burned out to 60, so he's actually fortunate to get away there. Taking some damage. Nicely done from LG. Push back the aggression in bathrooms. Now they have control, and they have a little bit of room to work with towards this A bomb site.
And Simple hoping that someone's going to try to look for a peek over on top of that flower box towards long A. LG still definitely heavily leaning towards the A push, so it's likely we would see someone go for this, and picking up another early kill here would be a big boon to the members of Team Liquid, considering they're pretty far spread out right now, and that rotation is going to take a while. When they do commit 3 more, possibly 4 in a second, heading over here towards lower A, still definitely looking for it, and for the majority of Liquid, you can see they still think it's coming in towards this B bomb site. Just now is Elise starting to fall back a little bit, potentially to rotate up towards that A bomb site. However, LG as well, as they've known to, they're playing very slow, very tactically now. They want to set something up on this A bomb site, and now it rolls in. Adren's going to toss out the corresponding molly to hold him back, but it's not going to do the job, and Adren's out for far too long, so he's dropped to 47 HP now as well. Simple. Shut down by Fur as he pushes back in through long A, and now Luminosity have exactly what they need. They're pushing into the site. The bomb is going down. They haven't actually cleared it out as of yet, so this is a bit dangerous if the retake potential comes back in, but it's on their side of it. Hiko picking up a first kill, shutting down FNX. Adren still not able to find anything as they've just cleared out. Now they're going to hide back over here in the bathrooms as they've got the perfect plant position.
This is a really well put together round from LG. Now it's all on this retake. The flash from Nitro misses. He's got one close to his left as well. Cole just hiding. He is spotted out. The up is going to do its work, but Fallen and Fur combined for 2 kills. And now this is just impossible for Nitro. Last one left. He gets another kill. So doing a little bit of damage. Going to chase one down, but he knows the defuse is impossible. Just going for the kill. He dinks Fallen, but can't find it. Taco is the insurance policy, just not being aggressive whatsoever. And Luminosity, that was actually, I think Taco might have just crashed as we see this pause come out at 3-1. But I mean, that round from Luminosity, first of all, they push back Simple in bathrooms. Not only do they push back the aggression, it denies so much information. You could see Simple was actively peeking throughout that round with the AWP, and he had no intel of what was coming, except for one player towards long. So you could see Liquid couldn't cheat over a rotate or anything of that sort. Now, they do have plenty of money this round. They drop an op over to Simple again. A couple players kept SMGs into that round, so they don't lose necessarily too much. Nitro might be on a low buy. It's all up to see if... Yeah, Simple's going to drop a FAMAS over to him and just to pick up light armor. But 3-1 now. 2 members of LG actually dropped.
Not just the fact that they couldn't actually, Simple specifically couldn't really spot what was going on back over towards long A either, but just the fact of how held back that was. No one exposing themselves in the short A push, no one exposing themselves in the bathroom push. LG waited to the last possible moment to actually go into that site. Perfect smoke lineup for those guys to get them onto the site itself. And Liquid, they still even have like 2 players on the site when the plant's going on. They just place it down. And on a map like Train, say, if you're going for the outside yard there, it may not work as well simply because the CT still hold good positions. But if you have that smoke wall lined up and you get the plant on the T side of it, of those big boxes over there, you can just fall back into the bathrooms and do exactly what LG did. And that forces Liquid to go for the push, and then the T's hold the advantage because they're the ones playing defense.
A lot of it came down, that positioning that Simple had, right under that sign between long and the staircase. I mean, that's what he did on pistol round as well. I was talking about it. There's no cover. It's so hard to fall back. It's basically hit your shots or die. And he missed one when he swung out wide, so that's what killed him. And then with that smoke wall, I mean, they combined it with some nice spam because the only option for Liquid in that spot is to spam through the smoke, try and get a little bit lucky on the planter. But Fur was spamming through the smoke right onto the Optimus truck. So Adren actually takes a lot of damage behind a smoke before he can even do anything. So really nicely done throughout the entire round from LG. Still not unpaused. Might be asking for a match medic, I would assume, to give them their guns back.
I think one player lost, according to what we're seeing in the chat now, one player lost his armor or something. So, might be medicing. But, we'll wait on confirmation on that from our admins. Unfortunately, like we had on Tuesday, these types of pauses keep happening like super early in the game. So now we have very little to talk about. And this sucks. Because now we have to sit here awkwardly.
Well, here's one thing we can mention about Liquid is they have plenty of money into this round. So even with that drop of the FAMAS, Liquid or Simple's the only one who's really hurting on nades, and that's because they kept those SMGs into that round. So I mean, that's also part of it. Maybe if they have those M4s, that retake is a little bit more doable, but because they kept the SMGs, the weapons are just a little bit tough and unwieldy to deal with when you have to get aggressive towards an LG that's playing the post plant really well. So we can also mention too, this is a map that Liquid likes. This is a map that they've challenged and beaten Virtus Pro on towards the end of last year. Not this current visage of Virtus Pro that we're seeing. That's a little bit in a little bit of a slump that we've seen from Leipzig and now extending into Pro League, where they actually started the season off 0-4. Lost both their matches yesterday to FaZe, lost both their matches today to Fnatic, so they've got a rough start going to Virtus Pro.
We can talk about this as well, since our admin was yelling at us to mention it again, that these maps are actually decided through a veto process. So there's
You've caved. You caved, Blue.
I just don't have anything else to bring up at this point, to be honest. You already mentioned a point twice. You mentioned the fact they have a lot of money. That's the second time you mentioned that now. So I'm trying not to repeat things.
Ah, I got
There we go. Trying to keep it varied. Anyway, well, yes, these maps are decided via veto process now. It's no longer... how were we doing it the previous 2 seasons? Was it? I think it was just random, wasn't it? Like up to a certain point to where you play so many maps per seasons?
The last few seasons it was just decided based on week to week. So this year they incorporated a little bit of a veto process into it. But we are getting word now that we're going to take a quick break because this is going to take a little bit of extended time to figure out. So we're going to set it off to break. We're going to let DJ do some dancing because he's really excited to do that stuff for you. And then we'll come back with an updated situation when we have more info.
Welcome back. I wasn't prepared for that. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus.
The score on the screen is not right. We have not changed the round, so I think it was 3-1, right? For Liquid?
Yeah, it's gonna update after the next
Oh,
round.
yeah, just making sure people that see the don't freak out. It's currently 3-1. The rounds will fix themselves once we go into the next one, but I believe this is correct. We are live once again here in a gun round. Team Liquid versus Luminosity.
Yeah, and a very similar start. This time Simple with the AWP is in the stairwell. He hasn't noticed anything towards underpass, so he's trying to find some of the information, but basically LG's, Taco's over towards the B bomb site with 4 members of LG right by Playground and Fountain, and they're going to slowly encroach upon bathrooms. And once again, about a minute left, and they're going to smoke this off, trying to neutralize Simple if he's there, but it's not going to matter. He's changed his spot. He's got 1 kill. Fallen trades him off. The repeat from Simple gets punished, so it's down to a 4-on-4. And actually, this is now when Taco's choosing to be aggressive. He's going to try and find a one-on-one on this B bomb site.
Her also going back down through Connector now, trying to see if he can find anyone there from the side of Team Liquid. Hiko is going to be pretty far away from that one, watching out for a push to come out through construction. Nitro sitting in pit the same way. The majority of Liquid just spread out nice and even, so regardless of where Luminosity head towards, probably going to be meeting the same odds, but they're condensing their players back over. Taco, as you can already see, push through Monster. The flash comes in. Taco's still going to press forward, though. He doesn't care. He's rolling right up onto this side anyway. He doesn't see any immediate threats. Checking down, spots the player in pit. They haven't spotted that guy back over there towards the CT Cubby as they have Taco spraying right through, shuts out Nitro. He will be traded at FNX, trying to get to his safe spot. Not going to happen, but Fallen trades out for Hiko, takes him down, and now we're locked into a 2-on-2.
2 smokes to use for the Team Liquid players, though, so they have a lot of options in this retake. And both members of Luminosity are over towards Catwalk, so 1 smoke goes out towards Cat, 1 smoke goes out on the bomb. Look at this, they're spraying through it, but Elish gets that kill onto Fur. Now he can get on the bomb. He does have a kit, but now the op's going to work through 2 smokes. So now it's Adren's turn, and he's just going to tap it, wait for Fallen to jump through. And he's going to not get that kill. He misses it. Fallen's going to win that with a 4 kill on the round. That's incredible, but that should have been a kill for Adren. Now we're going to see a pause come in just to get the coaches back on the server. But that round from Liquid should have been theirs. Fallen hits that incredible shot through 2 smokes, though, by the way. That's something you can't count on too often.
We were also told, I don't think this happened, though. Maybe. Someone in our chat said Nitro lagged out this time as well. So that might also explain the pause, because, of course, these servers are on like a 2-minute delay.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Still moving around, so no big deal there. I know that the coaches with Match Medic, it screws things up just a little bit, so they can't join initially. They have to wait for a round to be played out.
But it looks like they just got James in the game, at least. So if that was a player they were missing. Zeus also just joined up too, so I think we should be set to go. But beyond this, of course, now we see Luminosity, a huge clutch from Fallen. And the odds for Liquid, unfortunately, go down pretty heavily. As you take a look at the money, they're sort of on that edge right now where they could go for a force, but the majority of players wouldn't really be in too good of a position, so more than likely just going to be forced into ecoing now.
The best part about that first kill from Fallen onto Elige is that he actually tapped the bomb and got off of it. If he had stuck it, he wouldn't have walked into the crosshair. But, I mean, regardless, just an incredible clutch. A really good round, too. When he was... When they were taking that bomb site, you could see Hiko was far back, and he wasn't peeking whatsoever, and it was good that he didn't, because Fallen was just staying right back against the wall next to Monster and just waiting for Hiko to peek. If Hiko had peeked earlier, he would have been taken out, so he just bided his time patiently and found 1 kill before getting dropped by Fallen anyways. But without that kill, wouldn't have been as close of a round.
Liquid pushed quite a few of their players up inside of the bathrooms this time. Luminosity actually well aware of this being a possibility. You can see they're keeping their eyes on this, expecting someone to peek out to try and get some information. With Cold watching out for a push to come out over here towards, and uh-oh. I think we just lost our Go TV.
Yeah, why not?
A
few more issues going on. We're going to retry and see if that's maybe just a small error, but it's not. So I think what we're going to end up doing is going right back to break while this gets figured out. And yeah, once again, we'll come back when we have a little bit more information.
All right, we're back. Currently in the 7th round. Score is tied at 3-3. I believe this is around the same point in time. So anyway, looks like LG has a pretty good grasp on this round. 10 seconds left. A little bit late to get that defused, but in a 2 versus 4 here, along with Liquid being a little bit late on the rotation, he's just probably going to be one of the last hopes to get back in here. Tries to do that pop flash. He awkwardly kind of jumped out of the smoke, so they spot him early, but it doesn't matter, as he picks up that first kill in a cold anyway. Fur quick enough on the response to eliminate him. Nitro's the last man alive. He's down at 9 HP, holding his own angle there, able to take down Fur at the very least as he runs back away, but now he's pinholed here, and there's a good shot from Fallen to close it out, because LG will pick up the round.
Yeah, 4-3 there. So I mean, we didn't really get to see too much, but for whatever reason, I mean, Luminosity got into that bomb site very, very quickly and efficiently. Only losing one player, planning in a 4-on-2. So looks like this T side is starting out really, really well for them. Although, I mean, they have taken some decent damage. You can see the money for having... It looks like they've won 3 rounds straight. It really isn't that strong. There's not really too much built up behind Luminosity. So if Liquid can get some kills into this round, find a way to keep that money low, get 2 or 3, and then in the next buy round they win, they can really be the Luminosity on the verge of being broken. Double stack at the stairs, gets broken up by Fur, he grabs both kills, so that dream of getting 2 to 3 kills here is looking very unlikely.
Taco also picked up an additional frag elsewhere, so now it's just down to Hiko and Simple. Both are pretty spread out. Simple got the deagle, trying to connect something on a Taco, but not going to be able to connect it. Hiko lurking around, hoping to maybe catch him off guard, but again, the dream will be dead. As Taco shuts him down, probably spotted Fallen at least, but at the same time, Fallen spotted Simple. He's out in the open here. Someone just has to grow the balls to push him out, and it's going to be Phoenix that takes the duel. He takes him out of the equation, and another round goes by the way of Luminosity, as now they've got a good lead going for themselves, up to a 2-round lead. And for Team Liquid, they've got enough cash, so we'll be seeing another buy round from them here.
Yeah, and this is much the same situation that CLG is in. Liquid really has to get something going here, start stringing rounds together, start building up their own money. Luminosity already at 5 rounds with 7 left to play in this half. It's a bit of a scary spot, especially if they're to win here and force another save out of the Liquid side. So Simple's going to push up one more time. He's currently over at Picnic. There's only one member here. It's just Cold, and he's watching for a push, but he doesn't really see too much. He's going to fall back immediately, so slowly they're going to come into this B bomb site, trying to go through the smoke a little bit too early as Taco. He drops. Nitro's there for the trade, but now he's the last one left. Pop Flash is going to keep falling at bay, but a repeat punishes him. And there's no support here in this 3-on-3 at the B bomb site.
Elige taking a duel back down inside of Connector, is able to eliminate Cold, but there's another one that happens just outside of the doorway. Elige, absolutely crazy right now, but then Fallen comes in, takes out a supporting teammate, Simple, falling to the ground. However, now it's just Fallen as the final man alive, rounding around this corner, trying to connect the shot onto a Dread, and he grabs it, a point-blank shot, eliminating him, now a minute left. Fallen still with plenty of time to play this one out, a decent amount of utility as well. But Elige not going to take any chance on a direct confrontation. He's going to roll all the way back through Connector and try to beat him to the punch today, and he might just do so as Fallen is still expecting him to come out for the peak.
Well, Fallen's got a minute to play with here. This is where the experience of Fallen is really, really going to shine. He knows how much time he has. He knows that Elige is just kind of guessing of where he's going to be. Fallen actually trades out the AWP, goes right back for the B bomb site, so he's going to get this plant, but Elige reads it pretty well. He's already at the doorway. So the question next is, Fallen's going to come right at him. Is he expecting this? He sees him, doesn't commit to that. Nicely done. He falls away. Flashbang is going to delay Elige's retake. Fallen's still staying very aggressive, though. It actually swings out. He dinks him, but he can't get the kill. Elige with a 3 kill in the round is brought down to 2 HP. But he is going to win it. Now he's going to go try and salvage an AWP, I would assume.
Yep. So falling back over it, there's one on the ground just outside of the Connector doorway. So easily able to pick that up and surviving the round with 2 HP. Plenty of time left with the kit. Liquid strike right back, and the game will remain very, very close. 4-5 here. Luminosity, though, my scoreboard isn't working, so I can't actually see, but I'm pretty sure Luminosity should still have enough money to buy through this next round.
Yeah, they have plenty with that plant. It's going to start, like I said, it's going to start getting whittled down. Fallen's brought down to $0. Cold's at 200. The rest of them are sitting pretty nice, though. So they do buy up, but, I mean, that comes down to just Elige. So you can see Nitro can't afford any nades that round. They have 2 kits. Even Hiko's a little bit light on the nades that he could use. So Liquid's got to string these together here. A reset here would be so incredibly harsh. So Simple, he's going to get forced back with a nice pop flash. He's been pretty aggressive in the few rounds we've seen of this half so far. So that pop flash probably just going to start coming out consistently to make sure he can't get an early pick.
Now that pressure back over here towards long A. We're going to see Fur along with Fallen press themselves towards it in a moment. Elige holding back, waiting to see if there's going to be a pop flash, but Dren just looking right towards it here. He's got to get that communication out very, very quickly. And also Simple taking a very risky position just outside of the bathrooms too, trying to hold these players back, prevent them from even getting on the site to begin with, but Fallen picking up again another very impressive opening shot. The T's trying to wrap around, but they haven't actually spotted Dren. That doesn't matter though, because Fallen taking these duels like an absolute champion, shuts him down as well, and now they've got control of the entire area.
Adren was pretty much dead no matter what. He had two members wrapping around behind him. That would be Cold and FNX. Simple there with a nice shot onto Fur. Drops him, but meanwhile the rotation has come fully into this A site from Hiko and Nitro. No one's over at B. That's exactly where Luminosity is running. So much map control of bathrooms and stairwell, they're able to completely outmaneuver the defense, and this might actually just be a straight-up save call once Liquid realizes what's happening.
Moving into the site, as you've already mentioned, there's no one here from Liquid. Hiko, he's going to get smoked out, so not really able to do all that much from that current position, hoping to get the spray down on any players that were coming in through construction, but there's no one there. They're actually still fairly slow on LG's side of this, getting onto the site, but Fallen, again, picking up an additional frag now, waiting for these players to actually do that boost. Completely fails, so they lose another one of their players here. Finally, Fallen gets dropped by Nitro. Tries to get up a little bit too close, and Nitro is waiting for that exact peak. So it takes him down. As you were mentioning before, there's not a whole lot these remaining players can do. They're actually still here, still trying to fight for a way back into this site, but Taco taking down one of them, Hiko finding the trade. That's going to be it, though, as FNX able to come back out, round up the final player from Liquid, and pick up yet another round for LG.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be a pause out of Liquid more than likely, but I mean, it's LG is one of those teams where you're not going to win too many rounds with a man disadvantage against them. They're so good at ensuring that they close out those rounds and don't make any mistakes, especially in post-plant situations. Maybe one of the best teams in the world at post-plant situations. So it's super difficult to try and win those rounds, especially when you're coming over so incredibly late, when you're retaking from so far back with everything smoked off. I think Liquid just went for it just based off the fact that it's just so crippling that they got reset at this stage in the half. And that was really their only hopes and dreams. But now you're going to see an anti-eco out of LG. Fur and Taco picking up SMGs. I mean, this might even be a double save out of Liquid. Simple and Elish have decent money, but 3 members sitting right around $1,500. That's going to be crushing.
They've got to build themselves up from ground zero, essentially. So there's nothing left here for Liquid to try and work with. It's the same story as to what we had happen in some of those previous rounds. Or the previous matchups, did you say, where Cloud9 was taking on CLG. CLG, there's one point in their half, I think it was on this map too, where they were able to pick up at least one round, but it ended up hurting them more than it helps them just because of the fact that they get reset, and now they have to build that economy up again. The inconsistency becomes the biggest problem for these teams, and now Luminosity is going to be able to gain a very large lead off of this, assuming we don't see a miracle round from Team Liquid.
Yeah, the tough part, too, is Fallen's at a level right now. I mean, just recently he's been playing at this insane level, but even in this match, you can see some of the shots he's hitting with this AWP are insane. That entry, I mean, actually, I guess I don't know if I'd call it an entry, but that shot onto Simple, who was boosted up over the wall when LG was taking the bomb site, that was such a sick shot. It's such a small pixel to aim for, and Fallen nails it. So, I mean, there's certain things that it's just like, what are you going to do when a guy's hitting that kind of shot? When he's going to get a 1-on-2 clutch through 2 smokes to work with. So, Fallen's just being a monster right now for LG.
So still just waiting for the unpause to come out. As far as we're aware, this is still a tactical pause from Liquid. So we're just waiting for them to unpause it, and then we'll get back to the game. But as far as this round will be going, it's pretty straightforward. As we've already mentioned a couple of times now, Liquid, no way they even have enough money to try for a force here. It would be an all-in attempt, and it would be a very desperate one at that. But just as I say that, a rifle is bought and tossed over to Simple. So maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe they're at that level of desperation. Maybe they just drop it over. Oh god, no, this is a full buy into the round. So Simple's gonna have the M4. Deagle on a Dread, Nitro has the 5.7, Deagle on a Liege as well. Liege has no armor, and Hiko has a 5.7 with no armor. So this is one of the sketchiest of force buys that I've ever seen. And Simple's going to be aggressive. And here's the thing too, he's going to go down these stairs. If he loses this gun...
He has no support behind him to pick it back up.
Oh, they're on the other side of the... Yeah, no, he has got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing. If he drops this weapon to Cold here, then look at the investment. Look at the hopes and dreams of this round is just gone.
So Simple's actually going to fall back away now. So if this works, this could be amazing, because if the... Is that a triple stack? Yeah, that's a triple stack over here in the CT Covey. If that works, and they could have had Simple try to bait a couple players to follow him outside, that would have been incredible. However, it does not look like it is working at all. And in fact, you've already got 2 players pushing out of the A-bomb site.
Yeah, and Simple gets dropped by the MAC-10 of Fur, who barely takes any damage. So Nothing comes from that buy of the M4. Now it's just up to see if these Deagles and 5.7s can do anything. They don't even have a foothold to retake into this. They're just going to basically have to run through smokes.
And here we go, the flash, I believe, coming in from Nitro now. FNX already picking up one of the kills onto Elise. The pop flash, even just as the smoke fades too, so I don't imagine this going very well at all. The timing probably could not have been worse. Fur, 2 headshots in a row. Hiko at least finding one from the bank. Fur rolling back in, finds yet another headshot to close out the round. Luminosity lose only one of their players, so for a full investment on Liquid, that was probably the worst possible outcome they could have imagined.
Yeah, especially because Taco salvaged the M4, so now he doesn't have to spend money on an AK into this round. Switching over to a double op setup now on the T side for Luminosity. It's going to be FNX and Fallen. Actually, no, FNX passes that op over towards Cold. But a huge lead for Luminosity now, as definitely Liquid's going to save this round. No real investment. They do upgrade some pistols, but no armor, no nades with which to work. So tough spot for the defense to be in.
And now from Liquid is going to have nothing left to try and hold back the members of Luminosity. They can just waltz right through this round. Molly's already being tossed to try and throw some players out of positions here. It's going to put Liquid along with his teammate sitting in this area, but Nitro actually with a pretty nice shot manages to take down Fallen and recover an op as he completely outreached. So there's at least one free gun. Without any armor or anything sitting behind it, still doesn't put much hope into the ways of this team as of yet, unless they can go absolutely crazy with this gun. They've already moved themselves onto the A-bomb, so they pretty much have full control of it. All they have to do is get the bomb here. Some more guys are going to try to rotate in, but down goes that op now. And another kill as well being gained here by the guys on LG.
Yeah, much like last round, Taco just literally walked up long. Just no one was there to challenge him, so he just literally kept walking forward, take over the complete A-bomb site, and look how advanced of a position he has. He's already pushed down over towards, you know, the crow's nest, so Liquid, they try to rotate to get back in a position, thinking they have a chance to do it with that AWP. Oh, that's a nice find from Simple, though. Finds his way, maneuvers behind Taco. They get the M4. Can they get that AWP? That'd be the best find if they can just get that op and fall all the way back. They should be able to. It's right on the ground. Yep, there it is. Hiko has it. 3 guns actually salvaged, so all of a sudden that turns into a pretty decent round for Liquid, all things considered.
Simple picking up one more kill again with the rifle. Before he goes down to FNX, now the final 2. They don't even want to take the fight. Which is actually somewhat ironic now, just because of the fact that if they had decided not to fall back and save, there's actually a pretty good chance they'd probably go take it down FNX and maybe win the round. So an interesting choice made by Liquid, but with everything happening when they actually made the decision to save, it makes much more sense.
Alright, well, now's the last chance. They've got to get towards 7 in this half, because Luminosity starting to run away with things. The money still isn't that great on the LG side. They have only, I mean, they did lose a lot of players that round, so you can see FNX is down towards 0. They do have money built up, but it's only maybe 1 round's worth. So Liquid, if they can reset the economy here late in this half and get this up towards 7, that'd be fantastic. That'd be their best hope. They need some kind of a decent window into the second half to make a comeback here.
And LG is going to push all their players, with the exception of FNX, back over here towards long A. There's no resistance on it from Liquid as of yet, so they're going to pull Dren back and gotta watch out in case there was a quick play towards it. But him and Elige are the main defenders here on that A-bomb site. Liquid, they're definitely expecting something to come towards B, because everybody's dug in here just now. Are they going to start rotating Simple back up towards this site? And Elige will put himself into a much safer position inside of the bank, hiding behind the APC, trying to scout for anything coming towards long A, but he hasn't. Oh, there we go. Actually baited out a shot from Fallen, so they definitely know there's going to be a presence here. I don't think they're fully aware of just how much of it's coming in through short A, though, as now they fall back, and this is that slow tactical play once again. They're going to be ready to explode outside of that smoke, I imagine, in just a few seconds.
Yeah, but Simple's just maneuvered himself into a really awkward spot. Fallen's the only one towards long, but he's already got the angle, and Simple's going to walk right into it. So Fallen just destroys him. Now here come the smokes. The wall of smokes are lining up. The Dren is blind. Some spam comes out, but LG's going to have a pretty easy entrance out of the bomb site. FNX jumping through the smoke. He takes out Hiko from behind a Dren. It does get traded off down to a 3-on-3. The bomb is not planted yet. Still 25 seconds. And Nitro looks like he wants to push this flank, but because they haven't committed to that bomb site, he's taking it a little bit cautiously.
Nitro sitting behind the players. I'll be waiting to line up the flank. Adren as well. They're actually expecting some sort of flank to come in from the T's. As you can see, Adren, he's got his eyes pierced on those lower steps there, expecting something to come down from below. But now they've got to force their way in. They've got to get this plant on the ground. Adren going for the peek. The dink down to 12 HP. But now, nonetheless, Elige is going to peek out. He picks up 2 kills, actually. Taco finding another one for the terrorists. But now he's in a 1 versus 2. Stuck in the back behind Semi right now. moving in, maybe to trade out for that off, but just getting himself into a safer position behind the semi. The bomb has started ticking. Now he's being pushed in upon, trying to take down Nitro, but he holds on, shuts out Taco, and puts another point on the board here for Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid holds on just barely. LG tried to do what they've been doing throughout this half, which is, you know, go a little bit silent after an initial hit, make Liquid kind of guess, try and see if they can rotate away from the actual bomb site that LG wants to hit. But because Nitro had such an advanced position at the stairs, he knew that they were just staying outside A. So, the teammates, nobody rotated because they had that kind of intel. One of the few times we've seen this half that Liquid had the right intel on what was coming, and they're able to position themselves really, really well for that retake.
Now from LG, another round where they still have pretty much... Again, my scoreboard is not working, so I can't see these totals between it, but the guys on LG still having plenty of money to work with in these situations. But look, it's Simple, trying to get aggressive in that smoke. They don't see him walking past. He's careful enough. The thing he's going to have to watch out for is the bomb carrier in Playground. If he peeks back out, he's going to be completely exposed and probably won't even expect this. He'll be shut down. Right now, he's completely in between these players, sees them all waltzing through, lining up that first shot. Needs to pay attention to Connector, though, as there's Fur coming back in. Potential disaster averted now as he picks up the easy trade. And now Elige moving in. He finding another one here for the side of Team Liquid. And so far, a pretty strong hold on the A bomb site as LG are far behind in this round.
Yeah, Fur's reconvening out towards Long, which just gets smoked off by Adren. Has an AWP, so he's using that smoke as cover for some kind of off angle towards bathrooms, towards highway. He goes the only one at the B bomb site, though. And Taco is looking for this one-on-one. He's trying to find it, and he's telling him that he's clear how advanced he is in this bomb site. And he'd go right at the corner. He's going to win that battle. Taco can't land the shot, so now it puts the emphasis on Fur to make some kind of a play. The bomb is still not committed. At the top of the stairs, that's in Fallen's hands, and Fur has a good positioning towards the default box. If Adren gets a little over-aggressive, he's going to get picked off, but still... Oh yeah, Adren just dies. Fur just comes right around the backside. Not prepared for it. Now it's smoked off, so they're at least going to get a plant. This is a realistic win here for LG. They're in some good spots.
Holding back, waiting for them to leap through the smoke and hoping they actually get over and aggressive with this. Fur not going to get sprayed down as of yet, but Fallen taking it up close and personal. Elige actually surprisingly does not decide to proceed through, but Hiko gets the spray down through the wall, takes out Fur. And Fallen, already heavily injured, is going to be an easy target to take down. Elige will pick up that kill. And they're going to get another good retake. Managed to close out this round, bringing the match that much closer, up to 6-8 now, as we go into the final round of the half.
Yeah, and now this is that point that where, I mean, it's the last round, so it's not going to be a huge impact, but the economy for Luminosity has finally been whittled down. You could see one AK-47 on Fur, 4 Tech 9s though, and actually this is a pretty cool decision. I think Cold could have afforded a Tech 9, or I mean an AK or a Galil if he had wanted to, but he would have been without nades. So he goes for the utility option. This gives him a lot more variety in the tactics they can run with this kind of a buy.
LG once again all in with their players, moving in both through Connector along with moving through towards short A here. Ooh, almost catching Elige out in the open as Fur just barrels through that smoke, but Elige able to fall back in time. He's in a safe position on the A bomb site, and he spotted a lot of this pressure coming in. This actually is probably going to be a much faster attempt to take from LG this time. They're already lined up, they're ready to go. The rotations from Liquid are going to be far behind, and this take happens quickly enough, but Adren, picks up one kill, but Fallen so fast on the trade, able to take him down just after this one. Now Fur finding Elige. All the natural defenders of the bomb site are gone. Nitro's quick enough to rotate back into here, but he's completely flashed. They know where it is. He's fired the warning shot. So now that they've got that bomb down again, it's the perfect plant position. They can fall away and force the members of Team Liquid to be aggressive against them.
These ops on the A side for Liquid have not been paying off. Hiko does find Cold trying to get aggressive. Now they're just going to try and stick defuse the bomb in a smoke, and it's going to work out for him. Simple's got it. The peaks don't come in time for LG despite the advantages they had. So Liquid does get up towards that 7th round, just basically clawing their way back into that. So they give themselves a little bit of a window here into the second half. But still, a very, very good terror side put together by Luminosity.
Yeah, ultimately, the biggest problem is going to be with such a CT-sided map, Liquid only being able to pick up that many rounds. Now they have to turn the performance around big time, and with Luminosity having that big of a lead going into it here too, I imagine this would continue on to the CT side, and the setups being that much easier. It got a little bit sloppy, though, if I'm honest, in those past couple of rounds like we saw it there. Liquid, or I should say LG, with their post plants, they had themselves secured. Then were forced out of it there by the good strat from Liquid and just weren't able to recover from that. So maybe some weakness is starting to show here from Luminosity, but now we have to see if the momentum continues for Liquid on this T side, as they're going to start off with the second pistol round right now.
This pistol round is massively important for Liquid, as all pistol rounds tend to be. Hiko's going to go for the Tech 9, but it's not the raid boss buy. No armor. Actually, 3 members on the Liquid side don't have armor. They go for a heavy utility pistol round. Simple has smoke, flash, nade. Adren, smoke, flash. Hiko has that nade to work with as well, and all of them going towards the B bomb site. But look at this stack. This play from Luminosity. They might spot this out quickly. Taco had fallen very, very aggressive towards Monster. Leash gets that first kill. They're going to continue to push, and there's Nitro, but Taco bails out Fallen, and Fallen gets Adren. The bomb is down, and Fur gets 1 headshot. All 3 headshots for LG, and the pistol round has just collapsed.
Hiko still sitting back, armed with that Tech 9, picking up his first kill. This nade's going to roll into, but completely off the mark. Will do basically 0 damage. And now he's going to fall away as FNX, lurking back around, takes out the only other teammate remaining, which was Simple. And actually getting a pretty easy kill to take out Hiko, the final player there. So, good shutdown from LG, and they scavenge a free Tech 9 for their troubles, as they'll keep their lead going strong into the second half, it seems.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous pistol round. That's really nicely done from LG. Just walking through Monster and Taco with the backup on Fallen. It looked like Nitro was going to have the jump on him. Playing at that close angle to the left where he kind of surfed up the side of Monster a little bit. But Taco just bails Fallen out of that spot. So really well done from LG. That aggressive pistol round pays off. Investment, though, from Liquid. They're not going to give it up just yet. They have the upgraded pistols. They have the armor as well. And FNX is going to spot one out coming downstairs. That's going to force everyone to fall back. You can see the immediate response. Fallen was playing pretty aggressive. So that was aggressive posture just to gain the intel of what was coming. And now they can fall back and set up a better defense. Taco, meanwhile, gets the first kill onto Elige.
This is going to allow Cole to go inside a connector instead of the flank, if it's even needed, which it may not. However, Hiko picking up 2 kills back-to-back on Fur and FNX, looking to line up a third now, and he grabs him on a fall, but this is where the flank comes in. Can he find the fourth? Finally ends up getting shut down. And Cold will be the one to pick it up and give Luminosity yet another round.
Almost works out for Hiko. If he gets that kill, turns it into a 1-on-1, that's a pretty interesting situation. But 10-7 now, no plant either, so Liquid forced into basically a full save. Maybe pick up a smoke. Simple has some money, and so does Hiko. So they do pick up Tech 9s, the pair of them. No smokes, though. So, I mean, the best thing Liquid can hope for here is a plant. But it doesn't look like they're going to have very much utility, very many tools to actually get it. And it's going to be aggressive from Cold with the MP9. Sprays down 3 very, very quickly. Pulls out the Deagle. Eventually gets traded off. But there's Fur to clean things up. So much damage dealt by Cold that round. Who's had a quiet game. Only 7 kills for him, but doesn't really matter as long as Luminosity looks like they're going to be running away with it. But this is the first gun round. This is where Liquid has to start things out very, very quickly.
It's already behind by a very large margin here. LG, most of their players actually economically are also in a pretty solid position here too, looking at FNX along with Fur specifically. The other guys are down a little bit more, but this should enable for a semi-decent force-up if they would like to go for it, should Liquid claim this first gun round. Also going to see Simple buying up with the op. They weren't able to afford that and get him armor sitting behind it too, so not too shabby when we consider the buys that we often see coming in on the first gun arm from the terrorists. Cold gets aggressive back over towards that water position again, but has to fall back because Liquid goes for very, very quick control of the canals. They move in, actually smoking off of Taco and Cold as well, so they're going to get the plant for free before really anyone takes a shot at either team.
Yeah, and Simple has the angle on Fallen, trying to come up into that crow's nest. Boosted over the sandbags, though. Cold's going to find that kill onto Nitro. And now boosted over the wall as well. Fur's going to get one more from long range. So they found ways to whittle down this post-plant defense. Elige does win that battle. He's holding water really, really well. Crucial position to hold, but the HP is starting to run low. Adren gets a kill on a Taco. There goes Elige in water. Fur trying to make this happen. Cold is even looking for the flank from Adren. But Adren's a little bit slow with it. Simple, out-positioned. And now the bomb is smoked off. It's going to go for the defuse. Adren in a 1-on-2. He throws out the Molotov and just gets wrecked by Cold. And actually, that Molotov is going to burn Fur. So that's going to win the round for him. Nicely done. Adren gets a little bit fortunate that smoke was not placed well. So the Molotov works out perfectly.
And Cold, with no other choice, has to fall away. Manages to save the rifle. However, now that he does have this rifle in his arsenal, that's the very large vibe that we're going to see from Luminosity. Only one player is going to be missing a rifle this time. And the immediate potential for Luminosity to strike right back is still very much alive and well here.
Did the smoke miss on the bomb, or did it fade, like, just at the perfect time?
No, it missed. It was like, It was a couple inches to, like, I don't even know if it was meant to go over the bomb. I think it was meant to cover it, like, sort of in front of it. That would be a bold assumption.
But yeah, now you're exactly right. The buy here out of LG is a very scary situation for Liquid. Look at the utility they have as well, because they lost so many players. They're running very, very low. Already a minute and a half left in the round, and they're down a lot of nades to work with. No Molotovs either, so they're going to have to win some duels here if they want to make this a reality, and there's a decent setup here from LG. 3 members very aggressive in bathrooms to hold off any push downstairs.
Simple just pushes forward, though, finds FNX. Fallen with the trade as well. You've got First sitting over here in the bathroom connector. Caught throwing out a grenade, so that's going to be Simple just rolling in again to pick up a second frag now as he eliminates Fur. Now the terrorists hold a good amount of control, but also keep in mind you've got Cold sitting back down in connector. He's going to catch a Dren, very low HP. That's an easy frag for him to grab. Immediately smoking it back off as he wants to hold this angle, but that could end up being a dangerous smoke if the members of Liquid decide to go back down through connector. But then there's Fallen chiming in with another op shot to eliminate Hiko, hoping to find some more. Should have just been able to spot a player jumping through, but Simple takes him down. The trade back and forth as Taco eliminates Simple, but Nitro now bringing this down to a 1 versus 1 as he eliminates Taco, and it's all on Cold. Player that's been sitting back inside a connector this entire time. Nitro at the very least wants to be able to escape with the plan, but Cold did see him go onto the site, so he knows the odds he's working up against.
And Nitro knows where he's coming from. He knows where he was a little bit ago, and he seems pretty dedicated to the fact that Cole's on a full-blown flank. So it is a little bit of mind games coming out. Plenty of nades. Cold still has a smoke and 2 flashes to work with. Bomb is planted at Optimus, and Nitro is in bank. He's going to get smoked off here, though.
Just tossing the flash down below as well to assume if he's there, it would be able to cover him. However, Nitro with nothing to fear. The bomb gets tapped by Cold. Nitro peeking out towards bank. Hasn't made a sound as of yet, though, so Cold's going to be slightly surprised. However, that was all he needed because now Cold has to sit back. He knows he's wrapping back around. Tries to get aggressive to pick up the kill, and he's going to do it. But he's not going to have enough time. Has to run away. He may not even survive this explosion. And Liquid, good play from Nitro. He is going to be able to wait that out long enough there. Bait out his opponent long enough and pick up the round for his team.
Yeah, a huge round for Nitro to win for Liquid. Still, though, back down to one player alive to win that round, just Nitro, so the money on the Liquid side, despite winning 2 in a row, is so weak. Now, fortunately, actually, it looks like LG might even buy into this round. At least a scout onto Fallen, some upgraded pistols as well, so small investment, no armor built up. So Luminosity just kind of buying these pistols, try and get a couple more kills, make sure that they can keep the money low, make sure no bank is built up on the Liquid side. But that looks so good for Luminosity for a while there. You could see with the lack of flashbangs and the lack of smokes, how that impacted Liquid in the mid-round. Fallen was able to get some really nice kills because they didn't have any utility to flash him back or force him into a more passive stance. So he was able to have free reign, basically.
Liquid investigating a lot of their pressure inside of connector at this point, but not making any noise to indicate to Cold what's going on. And actually, you can see the boost starting to stack its way up there. Did they actually... I don't know if they saw Cold or not, so he may still be a bit of a mystery. However, at the same time, Cold's just as obscure. They haven't spotted him, or Cold, I should say, has not spotted any of the players from Liquid inside, but with the door opening, they're now going to know what's going on. And no, I don't think they actually spotted Cold, so the way that they're flashing out and whatnot here would indicate it. However, Hiko coming back in there is going to be able to catch him off guard, and that completely kills it regardless, taking him out. And now the rest of Luminosity, their defense is being spread out pretty thin, and most of it's all towards A, so with Liquid pressing their forces towards B, it should be a pretty simple take.
Taco's going to get aggressive here, but it's not going to work out for him. Malige with the UMP drops him. Now all 3 members on the rotate over. Fallen still with the scout, going to try and take a perch high up, but he is smoked off. Won't be able to find very much. It just clears as Nitro makes his way into the site. Simple's going to peek that. A really nice peek. Drops Fallen. And from here, it should be pretty easy. So this investment from Luminosity, the pistols, the scout, doesn't work out. They don't get any kills on the round. So now Liquid has an opportunity to build up a little bit of money. It's a good win from Liquid.
FNX literally has nothing to save, so probably just going to barrel out here, hoping to maybe find a kill. But he's been brutally destroyed, as they found him pretty early on with the amount of noise he was making. Liquid now just 1 more round behind, tying things up against Luminosity. Luminosity actually with enough money to go for a buy again. The question is, do they want to? And this time it's actually going to be at a position where quite a few of these players could have gone for rifles, but they're going to choose to just upgrade their pistols and buy up for some of the armor behind it instead, so that they can get a full buy going on the next round instead.
Yeah, not a bad decision. Just playing the economy game, making sure that the next gun round they have, they can stabilize. If they were to force buy and lose it, then they get into an awkward money situation where a double save, if they ever want to do it in the future, would actually give Team Liquid a huge advantage in the match. So playing it safe here. There is a stack on the stairwell, and Liquid is taking this very, very slow. They might assume this is a buy, so they're taking this slow, just trying to see what they can find out. And Elysia is going to be the first one to turn the corner. No nades out for Elysia. Dren just comes around with a P90. He gets mauled. Elysia's still alive, going for more. He gets one, but 2 kills now for Luminosity. 3 members left. It's a 3-on-4 situation. There's only Fallen over in bathrooms to defend this A bomb site, but with those 2 kills in in the stairwell, Luminosity knows that there's really not too much pressure coming to this B bomb site. They can start falling back.
Fallen as well, if he hears any pressure coming from Long A, and he definitely just spotted Nitro crossing, so they're going to know he's there, but Hiko investigating down here as well, just to pay attention to see if Fallen would be trying to aggress on this one.
Look at the rotation now. Luminosity has a perfect read.
So they know what's going on, and not only this too, but I don't think they've actually spotted Fallen as of yet. So with him flanking, you can see someone's paying attention to it, so this probably isn't going to work out that well, but at least throws him off to a certain degree. Hiko shutting down Fallen. Now they're pushing in, but now the rifle comes into play with Fur shutting out Nitro, and they're a little bit spread out here. The bomb goes down on the site itself, but they've got to move in to get back control. Now they're getting aggressive, but Simple holding up close, shuts down Fur. Someone sneaks out though. Taco picking up both of those final kills. Hiko and Simple both go down to him. The Luminosity steal away around from Liquid.
That stairwell aggression from Liquid, that's Dren and Elysia not using very many nades, no Molotovs on the stairs whatsoever. That 1-for-2 trade that they executed, that Luminosity comes on top of, just pretty much ruined everything, because there was no more map control, there's no presence from Liquid at the B bomb site, so LG was able to just fully rotate everyone over towards A. Gave him so much intel. And actually, that A hit the 3 members took long so slowly that it allowed the LG to get into position. So now a desperate buy out of Liquid. 4 AKs, 1 Tech 9. Very, very light on nades. Only Hiko and Elysia with any kind of smokes whatsoever. Everyone's geared up towards this B bomb site, but there's 4 members here.
Fallen connecting a shot early on in this round as well towards Nitro, so he's already down at 23 HP. Not being able to catch Simple inside of Connector just as of yet as he was peeking outside of it, just as he threw the smoke, but oh, Fallen just barely surviving that random spray coming through the plywood there. He's down at 5 HP, so he's going to want to rotate away from trouble for the time being. They still hear a lot of noise outside of that connector area, but they're falling back inside of it now. And it looks like they may go for a rotation to try and go for the A site take instead.
Slowly coming up the stairs. They have so much space to clear out because they didn't have any pressure here early on in the round. It's just FNX and Fallen with that low HP. Fallen's just holding an angle out towards long. A single nade would just ruin his world. Now you can kind of see their pop flash peeking over towards Monster. Taco peek sees absolutely nothing, so that's going to allow Fur. It's going to give him, the idea. Let's rotate back towards the A bomb site, see what we're going to find over here. Try and have a 3rd member at all the places they don't have any information on.
FNX jumping up and down, trying to see if he can catch the aggression coming in towards bathrooms. Unfortunately, he's chosen to do this at just the wrong time. Now the smoke's barrel in, and Simple catches FNX just as before that smoke blooms. Unfortunately, the situation does not work in the opposite direction. There's 0 response from him. Fallen still alive, even though he's getting up close and personal with some of the members finding a 2nd kill. Fur's down at 4 HP, so he also has to get out of here, but Fallen is ripping these players apart. Cole jumping up on Semi, takes down Adren. Finally, Fur goes down, but Taco moving in, shuts down Hiko. That's a perfect site defense from LG. Now they reclaim their lead quite nicely. It's a 13-10. We'll have to see just how much money Liquid will have to work with going into this next round.
I'm not sure why Liquid felt the need to be so aggressive. And also, if you're going to try, if Simple's going to jump through a smoke to take out Fallen to try and make that work, Fallen's only got 5 HP and he gets 3 kills on that hit. So just really, really bad trading from Team Liquid, which is generally a hallmark of their style. Trading on the entries into a bomb site. And then they just keep pushing forward without the smokes, without the flashes to blind anyone, and it's just free kills for Fallen. So nice hold from LG. Now Team Liquid with only 10 rounds, they can't invest too much into it. They have Tech 9s, they have a Deagle, 1 smoke, 1 flash, but no armor built up, and they're going to send 4 players up the stairs. LG, they have complete control of short sewers, so they might have a very quick flank on this round.
And as they move up, it's all grouped up here from Team Liquid 2, only leaving a couple players behind to watch out for flanks. Simple most notably to try and catch Taco if he proceeds inside of Connector there. Paying attention to every angle, but except for the site, ironically enough. So as they push their way through short A, they're actually going to get free control. And if all they wanted to gain out of this round was a plant, then they're definitely going to accomplish that goal. As now Nitro moves in, shuts down Fur. They still have to worry about the players coming in towards long A, but they have something to counter this out too, as they've got Simple now lurking back around to try and catch these guys. LG riling back over here, try and take down some of these players from Link before they can get into their post plants. They're going to succeed in doing that as now Taco comes out from Connector. He takes down Adren. Hiko's still safely inside a bathroom, and they're still trading out kills quite nicely as Simple grabs a knife kill onto FNX. Hiko picking up an additional one from Liquid to shut down Cold. And just like that, the defense from LG crumbles. Simple finding that final kill as well. Liquid striking right back keeps this game very, very close.
That entry onto Fur is just heartbreaking for LG. He just gets tapped long range. He just has only his head is showing, and the Tech 9 works out in the favor. So good round for Liquid. That flag from Simple, you're right. That was the insurance policy. The knife is just icing on the cake, but full buy now. So Liquid swings it back into their favor, 11-13, and Fallen has an AWP with no armor. And the rest of his teammates, CZ, 1 M4 onto Taco. So still, I mean, we've seen what these partial buys can do for LG. Liquid's got to be very, very careful, and it's the same stairwell stack that they did in that round they won.
So for LG, trying to hold off Liquid from really bouncing back into this game. By doing so, they have to invest pretty heavily in Fallen. There's going to be a lot of pressure coming onto him in just a few moments. If he continues to peek out over there towards the playground area and the fountain area as well. So far, nothing peeking out. Can't spot anything. Can definitely hear the flashbangs and whatnot going off. But he hasn't actually caught sight on any of these players, so they're kind of still in the dark as to what exactly the strat is going to be here from Team Liquid, and they even start to get a little bit nervous that it could be a fake being thrown over towards long A. So Cold's going to toss the smoke a little bit early, back down over here. Thrown to try and smoke off Monster, and it works too, because there's a heavy concentration of Liquid now over here. The big question is going to be how exactly do they stop this when it all just explodes out onto this B site in a moment.
And you can see, actually, FNX and Fur still in the stairwell. This is going to be a quick flank. If there's any mounted defense, Cold gets the first kill. Simple trades him off. Now it's up to Taco. He's got the M4, but Adren finds him. Couldn't figure out which way to look. FNX is still there, though. Gets one. So does Fur on this quick flank, and now Fallen's in here with the op. This is getting a little bit dangerous. Hiko and Simple very, very low, but Simple's going to find it with the AWP. Nice job holding Fallen for the repeak. 13-12, Liquid stabilized moving forward. And that buy actually really hurts the economy of LG. Next round is going to be a very, very important round for the defense. And they're virtually out of money. So Liquid, it's looked so unlikely at times, but they've clawed themselves into this match.
Luminosity have also been very aggressive with their economy too, so this is where it's finally starting to bite them back, because now they don't really have a choice. Buying up completely here would be a very, very poor decision, so they're going to have to let Liquid tie the game up and hope that going into that next round, they can try to keep their lead going strong and take a victory from that point forward, because if they continue to bounce these rounds back and forth, they're just going to be worn down. They won't have any money to continue buying through. Liquid is absolutely going to beat them in any type of race about that. And eventually Liquid will just beat them in the fact that they're going to be going up against Ecos more likely than not.
Seems like Luminosity's got a pretty good read on how Liquid is operating their offense at the moment, though. They've had a lot of rounds where these fast flanks are really, really impactful, because you can see even this round, Liquid is very, very grouped up. 4 members went out towards long A right at the start. It's just Hiko watching for a flank. Nice pick from Simple. This time, Adren also falls back to group up with Hiko to watch the flank, while 3 members are very far ahead in the A bomb site. And Adren spotted out FNX coming up the stairs. He does win that battle, but Cold is trying to mount something, trying to find a leash. But it's not working out. He's out of bullets, and now he's eventually just going to get run down by Liquid, and Nitro finds him in the end. So just Taco. Not too much left for him to do, and Hiko watching the flank is usually does not get caught off by these plays, but this is a pretty big flank to have to even think about.
Regardless of the round, goes in the favor of Liquid, and there we have it. Hiko shutting down Taco. Fortunately, there was not a whole lot for him to save, so it's not the biggest victory for Hiko, but it takes him down, and he prevents his own death. So keeping the economy going strong for the side of Team Liquid, specifically Simple, now over that 10k margin post-buy. And for LG, this is the full buyout. Not a whole lot of utility. 2 smokes, a couple flashbangs here and there, and a random assortment of other support items. It's going to leave LG very, very weak to just a brawl push from Liquid basically anywhere on this map.
Yeah, there's nothing to really slow down Liquid with whatever they want to do. Molotov comes out just to allow Fallen and Cold to push up towards short sewers, and this is kind of the thing. Fallen, he's going to take a very aggressive stance, and he almost has to without the nades. So he's got a sliver over towards over at short sewers, looking towards long B. Not going to see anything. No one's aggressive here. Hiko's playing very, very far back. Meanwhile, it's Fur and FNX manning down bathrooms. They're going to have to find something. They're also very aggressive. But only 1 smoke, 1 nade, and 1 flashbang left in the arsenal of LG for the rest of this round.
And Fur's going to try to hold off a push towards short A, but I believe Simple's going to move in first as he tries to push in. He'll have to go up against one of the members of LG sitting just on top, and they don't expect him to be walking in at all. Neither has spotted each other as of yet. It's a little bit of an awkward exchange, as now they even go for the peek back inside of the bathroom connector, but still, neither team has managed to spot someone else, and there's Fallen now with that peek back over towards Construction. He's been doing that so much. He almost actually gets sprayed down from over, just outside of Monster, too. So again, that's the second time now he's almost been eliminated via spray that's coming through one of the weaker points. Dropped down to 8 HP this time. He'll have to rotate back up towards Heaven, where it's going to be a safer position for him to play from.
Yeah, this one kill from Fallen, though, pushes Liquid back up the stairwell, back towards bathrooms in the A bomb site, where there's 3 members here. FNX, Taco, and Fur all have a triangle of doom set up. Fur looks away at the wrong moment. Hiko does find that kill. Nitro's busted up Taco, so this stack all of a sudden disappears, but they haven't seen FNX. And he's going to push in quickly on the flank. Hiko's got to be a little bit careful. He hears the footsteps, peeks out, loses that battle. And likewise, Nitro can't get away after the plant. So Luminosity pick up their 14th. But with that plant, there should be plenty of money for the Liquid side to buy. Simple's at 11,000 right now.
But nonetheless, Luminosity striking right back now. Finding another round. Like we were talking about before, this keeps their leads going. But as you've just mentioned, now we see a pause. Assumably, this is the tactical pause to come in from Liquid.
No, this is Luminosity's. Guaranteed. Because I think, well, one Liquid already used theirs. I'm pretty confident.
I thought you get one per half, though.
We're just getting word that it's a lag out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I would assume, though, if there was going to be a tactical pause, because of how important this round is, with Luminosity just picking one up, they have to be very cautious that they don't get reset here. If they get reset here, that's going to allow Liquid to at least get up towards match point. So it wouldn't surprise me if LG even took a pause, even if it wasn't a lag out.
Now that we're getting a look at the money too, like Liquid, beyond just Simple, we talked about his money. Nitro's also sitting at 10.2k before he buys anything. Everybody can still buy their own rifles this round. Hiko has enough to buy through for another round. So this is still an extremely strong economy. And to be completely honest, we're probably still going to be looking at a full buy from Liquid, with maybe a couple exceptions, like a random Tech 9 or Galil thrown into the mix here or there for the rest of this half. So, like you said, LG, a reset is going to be the worst thing in the world, because Liquid, they have the money to go through this half regardless at this point.
Yeah, no matter the outcome, they're buying every single round from here on out, especially if you add in a plant. Allegiance is the only one who's even dangerously close to being low, and he still has 2k. So, yeah, very, very interesting. They've got to find, Liquid's got to find some way. You could see one kill from Fallen, one kill from the side of the map that they're currently putting pressure on really scares them away, and going back to the other one, where they generally have had no map control, because they're staying very grouped up on one side, just casually watching their flank with 1 or 2 people, but they're not actually exerting any presence. So when they come back, when they fall away from an initial bomb site in that group, they have so much space to clear out. Even that round, they didn't clear. They got 2 kills in bathroom, but they never got FNX. So he was even on a very, very quick flank. So it's very tough to rotate across the map like that, especially when you see the clock starting to dwindle down.
This time, though, the buy from LG is obviously going to be looking a lot better with what they've managed to bring in from the previous round. The bigger problem is that we weren't really seeing a whole lot of utility, so that was basically just their raw skill that allowed them to hold back the members of Liquid in that previous round. Now they've got a lot more, and Liquid is going to have a much harder time actually getting through the barriers and actually getting onto that site and getting the bomb down. However, it's not stopped them before. These rounds have been traded back and forth this entire half so far. And it looks like we are going to be getting on pause right now, so let's get back into it.
So not a lag out, but it did look like the LG house kind of spiked in their ping up towards 100, so just waiting out the storm. But you can see the money on their side. Fur with 750, Taco as well with 700, and then 200 on Fallen, 0 on FNX. This round, if they get reset here, is going to make things very difficult for them. Fallen trying to make this jump out of the flower pot as well, so they have a pretty good long setup.
Simple's also sitting back over, watching to see if anyone from LG will get aggressive to try and peek down towards Monster. Definitely not going to be happening, though. In fact, they're playing it very safe. Taco's already smoked it. Hiko just firing some shots through. Actually gets a response back, so they know the presence is here. However, Liquid now playing very, very passively. They're really hoping somebody from LG tries to push forward, either towards bathrooms, outside of bathrooms, I should say, towards short A, or even pushing out towards long A as well, but this is not happening. Everybody is sticking to their positions. The only really hint of aggression that's coming out from LG at all is this play from FNX over here to place himself just behind the tree.
All 4 coming right at the stack towards long. Fallen misses the initial shot. He does get dropped by Simple. That leaves FNX in a really tough spot. He extinguished the Molotov, but he falls with no kills. So now it's all up to Fur, pushing up into bathrooms, trying to get aggressive. I know there's a lot of numbers out towards long, so he feels like he can make some kind of a play this way. Meanwhile, it's a Dread and Hiko watching the flanks while 3 members push up that long A and clear out bathrooms. But a 5-on-3 for Liquid.
First is going to be a statue here. Unfortunately, doesn't really seem like he's going to be able to catch anything, at least initially. He's going to have to get aggressive and push himself inside of the bathrooms, as that is where Liquid is moving towards. Now he starts to push out. Still has to deal with Hiko, and he's caught completely off angle. Lige, that's an easy kill for him to find. Now Cold responding back, finding a second, but the pressure is still bearing in. There's 2 more to take down, finding one, and the second, as he eliminates Hiko and the Lige. Just like that, it's flipped on its head. Now a 2-on-1, Adrenaline, only 10 seconds left. Now down on 5, as he's pushing in. They're just playing with him. He finds that 1 kill, but he's out of time. It's going to expire. Taco knows this. He's already halfway across the map at this point, and this round is going to go by the way of Luminosity.
Cold has been quiet this entire match, and he picks that round to have a stellar hold. A 1-on-5 situation at the A bomb site, and he kills 4 of them. That's incredible. So Liquid feeling the pressure a little bit. They had to have had some nades they could have utilized to help clear him out of position. They had so many left, and they didn't use anything. The truck wasn't smoked off, no Molotovs. And Cold just destroys the hopes and dreams of every Liquid fan watching right now.
The problem is, though, okay, if Luminosity manage to shut those round, of course, everything's bygones be bygones because they're going to win the map anyway. However, they only keep 1 player alive at the end of that, so they're still very, very weak in terms of what they actually bring to the table on this round. You just look at it, Cold can't even get a rifle. He's still stuck down on a CZ with no utility left after he's possibly used anything very early on in the round. Liquid, as we were mentioning when it was on pause, still have so much. So they're not out of the hot seat just yet.
Yeah, Liquid had 2 Molotovs, 2 smokes, and a nade to use to clear Cold out in that last round. Not able to do anything. He just shuts him down. Beautifully done. And now into a 4-on-4. I mean, this is the difference, though. That round, that heroics from Cold is the difference between Luminosity playing for the win and having to save and hope that they're going to be able to tie things out and force overtime. So they can breathe a little bit easier knowing that they can't outright lose here in regulation. But here comes the hit onto this B bomb site. It's just Taco and Fallen here. Fallen not even peeking, letting him get into the site from Monster. He's just watching for short. He's not going to find anything, though, so this should be a plant for Liquid. Taco's getting aggressive over the top. Fallen finds one. Simple responds out of Taco, though. Down to a 3-on-3.
There might be a player coming around him here in a second, so he's got to be careful with flank. The smokes start to fade. The support's starting to rotate down, but it's going to be very, very slow. Fallen's on his own. Thankfully, no one from Liquid. What a mistake Fallen just made. Tried to go for the jump and is caught midair by Nitro on the peak. Cold trading that back out. He takes down Nitro, and now Fur moving in takes down Simple, followed up by another kill from Cold. So although they lose their teammate, at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter, because Cold and Fur just retake that site with class, and they're going to close out the first map because of that very nice play.
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous. God, what a heroics by Cold there right at the end. That's absolutely crushing. So, a scrappy match. I mean, no one really ever... It felt like Luminosity had like a huge upper hand throughout sections of that match, and Liquid just called themselves right back into it. So, very, very scrappy. Tough that they didn't win it out in the end. They seem to have every advantage there, especially in that second to last round. Cold is just such a monster. But either way, good win there for Luminosity. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, same 2 teams. It's going to be the second match of this doubleheader, and it's going to be on Kabul? Yes, Kabul.
Yes, Kabul.
Cool. So we'll see you guys back again very, very soon.
For any of you guys that have been sort of away from Counterstrike for a while, I think people are used to sort of a usual Sunday to Thursday schedule. It's now just Tuesday to Thursday, so we won't be having anything going on tomorrow, as far as I'm aware at least. But we'll be back next Tuesday for both Europe and North America with plenty of more matches here at the ESL Pro League. Regardless, though, let's get into it, guys. Luminosity Gaming versus Team Liquid. Let's go.
Let's go! Woo! Fur pushing up towards A. Might be able to find some intel. I definitely hear some footsteps. I expect at least Fallen would rotate back, but Liquid, they're not even slowing down whatsoever. Hiko's going to stay down to the connector to watch flank, but already Lige, Nitro, Adrenaline pushed up very far towards the bomb site. Fallen trying to spam through the smoke. There is one on top of the balcony. That's FNX. He's chipping away at Adrenaline, and Alish falls, trying to get aggressive towards that murder hole. FNX is going to drop out, so all of a sudden there's a foot onto this retake, which it's not even really a retake because Liquid hasn't taken the site yet, but heavily aggressive is LG, and they're just whittling down these forces. And Taco's going to come in for the cleanup. The last 2 kills go his way. Liquid very quickly and decisively look like they're going to be able to take that site, but just get brick walled.
As they're shut down again, and LG off to a great start on the CE side, and this is a good thing too, because this is where things could potentially fall apart and fall away for these guys and give Liquid a good advantage to start off this half. Not going to be the case though. Fallen interestingly now, going for the investment onto the Mag 7. Missouri decides to play this. I'm assuming either somewhere inside a drop or I'll go over towards Broken Wall, but with his late entry into the drop room, definitely going to be playing towards that angle to try to stop any sort of rushed movement from Liquid down the waterfall.
All Tech 9s, one smoke onto Adren still, and he hasn't thrown it just yet. There is a pretty big emphasis from LG on this drop. 3 members are all in the same choke point. They can swivel pretty much 180 degrees, watch for a drop exit, and watch for the broken wall drop. So pretty centralized defense in that location, but still no movement from Team Liquid. They only have this one smoke, like I mentioned, on Adren, so that's gonna be their only real point of attack, and that is going to smoke off the bomb site to try and get some kind of a plan. It's going to smoke off the rock, but it's not going to be too effective for the defense that LG currently has set up.
Now that nade's gonna come in. Oh, look at all the damage it's done to Liquid now. Perfect grenade, and now there we go. All the kills coming in a sequence of just a couple of seconds. LG shut it down, and now we're easily up to 2-0 over these guys on the CT side.
I mean, yeah, Liquid just walked right into that blunder. That smoke did absolutely nothing for him. Didn't allow him to cross into sight. It was used more so that they wanted to be able to plant the bomb with the cover of the rock and swing on the bomb site, swing wide on the fountain, but they didn't account for the fact that Luminosity was just going to have so many members ready to spray him down right at the broken wall. Now it's going to be another fast mid play, another amazing nade from Fur. So much utility damage. He does eventually fall, but speaking of fall, it's Fallen with the AWP at long range, who's not going to let anyone pass.
Cold there, actually saving his teammate's life and picking up the final kill on the Hiko, followed by Simple. So LG only losing 2 players. Could technically be better when we consider what Liquid was bringing into that round and how it sort of started off with Fur getting the touchdown nade once again. However, still holding very good control. And for Liquid now, they're going to get the big guns into their hands.
Yeah, I mean, they have the AK-47s, right? But they have nothing to really go against Fallen's op, and he's been pretty dominant with it on the first map through stretches. So that's the biggest thing they're going to have to go against. Also, very slowly, all 4 members. The bomb is all alone. It's Adren just watching the flag. This is going to be a dedicated B hit. They have no real attempt at gaining map control anywhere else. They have no pressure to be put on A. And Fur has everything smoked out. So while he can't really see anyone, he just doesn't feel any pressure. Not even really worried about anyone coming down danger stairs at the moment. So a little bit of a risk. But it's not really going to come to fruition for Liquid because no one's there to really punish it.
Cold's going to take up a position on the platform on the B site too, sitting behind the box. So if there's a big play coming in, he could stop it, especially if the T's don't decide to toss out one of their own smokes to get some coverage on this one. So could be a rough battle here when we see Liquid shifting their players back over, as they're doing right now, to make the play in towards the site. At the same time, though, Cold actually falls back and away from this one as he wants to take up a safer spot, making sense for the play style of Luminosity, but they still need to rotate these players on A. They're still fully committed over here. That includes both Fur and Fallen. Fallen's a little bit closer, sitting just outside of the doorway, but if this is an explosion play from Liquid, then it could get rough.
Thankfully, the op is over at the A bomb site. It's just Taco they're going to have to worry about. They have no Molotov to clear out this tree. So that's going to be a tough spot. He's just biding his time, waiting for the peek. The pop flash comes out. Doesn't really blind too many people from Liquid, and Nitro is going to drop him. Good find, and there's 2 entries from Nitro, one from Nitro, one from Elige. That's a sick entrance onto the bomb site. Now it's just followed, and even he's going to fall to Simple, and Nitro just comes right through the smoke. So Fur, very, very quickly, is the last one left. That's a good start for Team Liquid in the gun rounds.
Nothing left for Fur to do. Just sit back, try to retreat. Hope there's not someone sitting back watching for a flank that's already been moved out now to scout out for himself. Which doesn't look like there is. Liquid, of course, are going to be on the hunt now, but there's not a whole lot they can do. So more than likely, Fur should be able to make it out of this round with the rifle still in hand.
That's a really sick entrance, and that's exactly what we were missing from Liquid on Overpass. Was that Nitro and Elige combination just barreling their way into bomb sites. This map, it might be a little bit easier with how, with the availability of that B bomb site, with how hard it is to defend for CT sides. And this is another good thing to mention. On the CT side of this map, it's probably the hardest map for the defense to gain information about what's coming. And that's something that Luminosity excelled at very, very much on Overpass. The way they maneuvered around the map, the way they, some of the aggression, some of the plays they made were just to find info, and they were able to rotate and cheat players over and really gamble on what was coming from Liquid. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to do that on this map.
LG now with a little bit less money. Fallen is going to choose to go for the investment onto the Mag 7 once again. As he throws out the early smoke, he actually is going to switch up his position this time, though. Won't be playing the same place twice. Probably going to place himself back over towards Broken Wall instead. No, getting boosted up. This might be just for the nade, as they actually really want to try and hold these players back on the platform approach. They're not letting anybody barrel in towards that. Fur as well, the lone man back over here towards Long A to hold this one. It'll be simple to leash pushing towards this. There's no one really pressed out on towards Long A itself, with just having a couple of these guys from Luminosity to hold this. So they are going to give Liquid quite a lot of free movement about this map early on in the round.
Here's the issue, that deep smoke, I mean, you can look at the position of Taco and say that's really nice, but that deep smoke pretty much gives up. I mean, there's no way that Liquid tries to retake this B portion of map control without checking that. He's also got no one there to support him anywhere, so no one long range to kind of distract the shots. But still, Liquid very spread out across the map, applying a little bit of presence. Simple finds a pick onto Fallen, and Nitro's gonna clear this for sure. Oh my god, he's not. He looked like he was swinging out wide to do it. I'm so nervous.
So Taco.
Oh my god, they're not going to do it. They don't do it.
Look,
This
he's
is
still
unreal.
alive. Now there's more coming. Does he take the risk? Going for the headshot. Finding the second. They still don't know what's going on as he picks up 3 kills before finally Nitro turns around and eliminates them. But the damage has already been done. It's down to a 3 versus 2, reversing the earlier kills that Liquid did manage to pick up. Now they move in. Some damage being done to FNX, but Fur and FNX close it out on their own. And LG snipe away another round.
Blue, I've been triggered. I'm on tilt.
No one checked it. All 4 of them assumed everything was okay. Granted, this is more the vice of the first 2 players that were all out, because the final 2 could just assume that everything's well and dandy by that point, but they're all going to feel the punishment for that one, as that round should have absolutely gone their way, and it just absolutely does not.
I'm so tilted. I think maybe part of it was that they threw a Molotov behind that smoke, and it didn't actually extend into that corner. It just kind of went deep to the far corner. It didn't extend to the close one. So it didn't really touch Taco. They might have, I mean, that's the only explanation I could think that they wouldn't clear out that corner with that kind of an aggressive smoke.
So now for this round, of course, Liquid still has a pretty big buy coming into it, but not a lot of utility. And for that they do have, seems they've used quite a bit of it already, keeping the smokes on tap to be able to use it for the actual entry itself. But this spread out strat, once again, trying to investigate their options, playing all over the map at this point. And now it looks like they are going to take the bomb over towards the long end and maybe make a push in that direction.
Very, very spread out from LG. Yeah, and Liquid really not progressing. They are grouped up, 2 members. They're still just kind of being very patient, really aggressive on drop. This looks like it's going to be an A-splitter. That's the idea. With Nitro and Hiko both here, Nitro is going to be the one to be highly aggressive. Hiko just kind of in a supportive role as he attempts to flank into that A-bomb site. They could split the defense. There's no one really close up to drop to watch it. FNX is just watching for someone to really commit to that B bomb site from Skyfall. But I don't think that's the tactic at all with the bomb over in danger stairs. 38 seconds left on the clock to execute this strategy.
FNX sitting just outside of drop. They hear all the noise. They know there's a presence coming down. Fallen's going to have to be the one that stops it as they start. But Fallen, oh my goodness, Fallen's going to have so much pressure on him here. Even tagged there as well by the bullet, so he's not going to be able to escape. Hiko finding another kill as they drop in through drop itself. Now the bomb's in this A site. Do not tell me we're going to have another Ninja potential play here too, because look at Fur's spot now. They haven't spotted. They do catch him, but he picks up his first kill and wins his first duel, but leaves himself way too overexposed. Seems like the 4x3 taking a real effect there. Unfortunately, look, they're running out of time. They've got to try to force this bomb down. They'll do it just with about 2 seconds left, but the CTs have picked up so many kills in the process of this. It's all on a leash. He can't pull it off as Taco finds the final kill yet again. And still plenty of time left, of course, to defuse this bomb.
Sick trade on that retake from Taco. Knowing FNX was very, very low. Just lets him swing out wide. Let's, pretty much sacrifices him to the clutch gods and then wins it out in the end. So nicely done from Luminosity coming back into that round. That's exactly what Team Liquid wanted. That strategy was executed close to perfect, and they still couldn't win it out in the end. So good recovery from Luminosity after Hiko and Nitro make their way down drop, and even Hiko delays the rotations by getting a kill. So 5-1 for LG. That plant, even with the extra bonus money, Liquid cannot force up a buy. They're gonna have to save into this round.
And where they go with it, we're going to find out in a second. It looks like it's going to be a pretty direct play out towards the B-bomb site. Not a whole lot of utility needs here either. Just a couple of smokes, so you can maybe expect they'll probably slow things down, as they're doing now once they get out towards the platform. But strategically, don't expect anything super crazy this time. This is going to be a very direct play. Liege gets tapped a little bit there by the smoke. That deep smoke once again. He's down to 98 HP because of that.
Still just waiting. No commit quite yet. Liquids, I mean, this has opened up as a pretty passive terror side. Outside of Piston where they virtually rushed. That Molotov might force Nitro back with the, Nitro with the bomb, but it's not going to extend to him. So he's not going to get picked off by anyone. Cold's still waiting for a pop flash, and actually he muffs it. It just drops right at his feet, doesn't do anything, but he gets the kill anyways. He's got teammates to support him, a sick crossfire set up, and Cold's going to get some free kills here. Nice shot there at the end on a simple jumping down. 4 kills for Cold. 6-1 now for Luminosity, and that very decisive win with everyone surviving allows him to build up a little bit of money.
And that was just an absolute shutdown that time, too. They read them like a book, essentially, for Liquid. They knew they were going to come out towards Broken Wall, and they had a brutal crossfire set up for it. Liquid tried to throw out some nades and whatnot, but they were very misplaced, it seemed, so was not really able to make the connections where it was needed. And even for those that maybe had to fall back for a couple extra seconds, Cold did the job for them. That's an easy 4K for him to find. Now Liquid, though, they try the same thing again, actually much faster this time, but with full rifles and the op sitting on Simple. Some good damage being done by the early nades tossed out by Luminosity. Now Cold, hugging the stat too. He's doing some of his own work. He's finally shut down, but then in comes Taco with a double kill. Takes down Adren and Hiko. The final 2 left alive from Team Liquid. Have to press forward. They've got to get back some of this site control, which they've just lost with the loss of their own teammates. The Molly comes out on top of Liege now as he's going to try to get this bomb on the floor. He succeeds in doing so, so he succeeds in doing that at least. However, he's going to burn alive. Might be the same story for Simple at this point, but he's up on top of the platform. Literally nades coming out at him every which way. Taco is going to find the headshot, shuts it down, and yet another round now will be stacked up for LG. They're up to 7-1 now, a very strong lead here on the CT side.
Yeah, this is just a suffocating defense that Liquid's having to deal with. Entries aren't going the way of Team Liquid whatsoever, and from there, LG is able to just outlast most of these rounds. So, yeah, this is a good call for the pause here, because Liquid has no answer. They win that 4th round, they get reset immediately, and there's no response. Now they're just getting completely shut out. And even with that plant, I mean, they're back onto his save.
Yep.
So, the losing bonus hasn't fully built up quite yet. And they could force some AKs here if they wanted to. They'd be so light on nades, though. That's the real trouble.
They could do... We've seen this a couple times before where you sort of split it up a little bit, because you're at a couple of players where they're over the limit to where they can still go for the lighter rifle and buy up and have a decent amount of utility behind it. And then you may have one player go for the Tech 9. That sort of just stacks up the utility. He's the one player that goes for it. That's another option for them as well. Along with those that are able to buy up AKs, they go for that and hope that they can really impact very well. But ultimately, they're still working against a very strong economy from LG here, at least in terms of what they're bringing to the table on a round-to-round basis. We look at it, and actually 3 out of 5 of the guys in Luminosity, there's a very consistent amount of trade-outs coming. So for Fur, Cold, and FNX, they don't actually have a huge amount of money left over. Sort of the same thing for Fallen too, but then you've got players like Taco who are sitting up pretty well off as far as I'm concerned, and that could last them a couple more rounds to buy it for the CTs.
The real question is what adjustment is Liquid going to make? Because they are buying into this round, and 3 AKs on Hiko, Adren, and Simple prevents any kind of nades to come out on those 3. Nitro is going to get an AK as well, so they're going to go into this round with basically 2 smokes max. It'll be a Legion Nitro with smokes. Yep. So that's all they have to work with, 2 smokes and a flashbang. And where are they going to go from here? Because they're going to have to take battles. They're going to have to just find a duel. They're going to be going up against Fallen's op at some point, and if he doesn't have anything, if he doesn't have smoke or flashbangs pressuring him or covering his line of sight, he's going to have a field day. And it's going to be a heavy play towards the A bomb site. This time, nobody is even close to heading over towards the B site. Fallen's just going to take up an angle, and like I just mentioned, with only 1 flash, there's no way he gets pre-flashed here at this. So he's going to have a free shot. Someone's going to have to take the risk and just jump across this this gap, and it looks like Hiko and Simple are going to be the first 2 coming this way. Hiko's going to be the one to run across, and he gets away with his life. Molotov comes out. They can't catch him, though. Hiko has to run through it a little bit. There's Fur, gets 1 kill and traded. Fallen missing some shots, though. Now he's got to have the backup, because they're going to start encroaching up this mid-ramp.
Good flash, holds back the ramp push for now, but he's expecting that one to be the first one that barrels in on him. Actually, there was some great movement coming out there from Hiko. I think he just barely dodges a shot from Fallen. He's still holding back, doesn't want to take the connection as of yet, and a great jump from Hiko. He even picks up the kill, too, shuts down Fallen. The CTs are crumbling at this point. FNX trading one back for the trend, finding the trade for the trade. Now Cold comes in. Hiko very low at 4 HP, and he's just going to get sprayed down from afar. So LG, a little bit dodgy there, but they do manage the situation very well and stack up yet another round. And for Team Liquid, they're basically at the same situation they were at before, with even less money on some of their players.
This has got to be a save now. I mean, Liquid couldn't have gotten a better round considering what they came into that with Fallen missing all those shots. They took the risk. They took the gamble multiple times, but you could see even once Fallen missed a bunch of shots and they started progressing up those A halls, they had no smokes to really block off the choke points in the A site, so it was so hard for them to move forward. And while they hadn't killed Fallen, his survival just attracted so much attention that the rotations when they come in basically have free kills.
So this time from Liquid, most of their players align themselves for a platform push along with drop once again. Just a bit of a split to get themselves onto the B bomb site. However, they are still keeping Simple back over here towards middle to lurk a little bit and maybe find a couple kills in that direction. Really just trying to do as much economical damage as possible to keep Luminosity from stacking up a strong bank. However, meanwhile, on the B bomb site, Fallen is currently free to do whatever he should wish. Before Hiko manages to shut him down. Ultimately, though, the trade's still definitely coming way too heavily in the favor of Luminosity, as there's two more responding right back to it. And they're just playing with the remaining players on Liquid at this point. Hiko's the last one alive. He's stuck here and just outside of the drop area as he tries to push back out towards his platform once again. They realize what's going on. Cold shuts him out. And there you have it. Yet another round here on the board for LG. 9-1, as Liquid can't seem to find anything that can work here on any of these gun rounds.
The cool thing about what we're seeing in Fallen at times with how successful he's been with the op and this hot streak he's riding is he gets into that same mode that like Guardian gets into, where he's just like, he wants to hunt down frags. He like goes for the super aggressive op plays because he's like, alright, I want the kills. I know Semler describes Guardian as like a great white shark, the lifeless eyes just hunting for frags, and it seems like Fallen's starting to get into that mode from time to time.
Not too great of a start of a round for Lige, as unfortunately flashes himself and it push out towards the platform there. Bounced off the box a little bit too early. But Nitro getting his spot onto Fallen there. There was actually a boost happening on both sides, but Nitro spotted Fallen first, so very casual one-tap comes in there to finish him off. Cold's also very low too, down 27 HP, so he has to hold himself back. Still, actually, I just saw where he was, so still holding a pretty aggressive position considering his HP back over here by the statue. But the real thing for now is going to be Liquid. They need to push out from this position. They are being shut down. There's Tico doing some work, though, as he shuts down both Taco and FNX. That clears out drop. Taco did find one kill before that happened, but now it's down to a 2 versus 4. Cold, he's out in the open. Elise just walks right up and takes him down. And for Fur, he's way out of the gunshot range for this one, so he's going to be moving away from the action and going for a save.
Yeah, good for Team Liquid as well. With 4 members surviving, that's going to build up some money, especially with that plant. They are in danger of getting reset, but with 4 people surviving, they might be able to, even if they lose the next round by going forward. Fur, I would imagine, actually the money's pretty low on the Luminosity side. Taco is plenty, but the rest of them, Fallen's pretty much out of money. They're going to have to drop him an AWP, so maybe he just plays a passive setup where he just goes for some exit kills, doesn't actually try and hunt them down. But either way, a good round from Liquid, a clever boost up by Nitro, gives him a free kill on Fallen. I think that angle was just one of those awkward angles where Fallen could not see Nitro, but Nitro could see him, because it seemed like they were kind of staring at each other for a couple seconds.
But finally now, Liquid being able to pick up another round. Fur's actually getting pretty close to the site in hopes of maybe looking for something to pick up, but not going to be able to find it. But now we do see the rebuy coming out. As you were mentioning before, though, and as I talked about a couple of rounds ago, LG very, very low on money despite having this many rounds being picked up in a row. So Liquid have a good chance now to bounce things back, that they can break the economy on the CT side and pick up a few free rounds off of their ecos.
That's the dream, isn't it? 3 members of LG heading over towards this B bomb site.
And with all the smoke flashbangs on that going out, both teams spraying out in hopes of catching someone. Not going to be happening, though. There is some investigation from Team Liquid back over here towards middle, too, as Simple makes a very good opening shot onto Fur. I think that was inside of your steps. Yep, shuts him down. So that's a great pickup from him. The over-aggression from LG in that regard ends us in them big time, as now there's nothing stopping them from proceeding on this B-bomb site. Technically, they could go directly for A if they wanted to. But they're going to go for B, and this actually ends up working great because Elige already picking up an additional kill. There's Nitro now, lurking around to find Cold back over by the tree area. FNX responds with at least one more pickup. But the final two, they've been completely denied any access to this site at all. You can see that FNX is trying to find some way to push back in, but he's going to be out in the open. Easy kick pickings now for Simple to take him down. For Fallen, they'll pull off this 1 versus 4 with an op. So they'll be looking for some exits or some over-aggression to try and take him down, but he wants to fall back.
Yeah, he should. Shouldn't even stick around to try and go for anything. He needs to get away. It's the only gun they're going to have into the next round. Taco could buy if he wanted to in the next round. He's got 3,700 right now. And we've seen LG do that kind of a buy. You know, with 1 op, 1 rifle, and 3 pistols behind it. But either way, Liquid's finally got the economy of LG at a breaking point. So try and close this gap a little bit, which is crucially important because that's a T-sided map. Being down 3-9, not the happiest of position to be in. So they have a little bit of an opportunity here to close the gap. And just like Overpass, I mean, get it close enough to the point where you have an opportunity going forward into the second half. And it is going to be a buy-up from LG.
2 Mag 7s this time. One still going on a Cold, another one on Fur. Fallen armed up with the op. Taco having the only rifle on the team. And for FNX, he's going to have to do some work with the CZ. We've seen him do some very impressive movement with this in the past, so don't doubt his ability to pick up a couple kills, especially if he can get himself inside of a smoke and use some confusion to his advantage. But some of the members of LG, again, will be playing very, very aggressively. Fur will be going for this pop, I believe a pop flash to jump back outside and allow a Cold to maybe pick up some kills around this corner, but there's no one there. So it wouldn't really be to any benefit to them to do that, because most of the pressure is being placed outside of mid-connector.
Yeah, this is all on Fallen with the AWP to get some kills for his team. He is going to be dueling over here with Simple. Smokes, Molotovs come out onto this B platform. Fallen is just going to jump up on the box once he realizes the fire won't extend there. And it's just FNX. A lot of faith placed in him with this CZ to guard drop. At least get 1 kill. That's what they're looking for here. But still, Liquid, not aggressive. There's a flash. Simple's going to work his way, but he's blind. He does win that battle. Fallen can't get the shot off in time. So Liquid has control of the B platform, and this is huge. Simple's making his way into the bomb site. Now he's got Taco trapped. He's going to swing wide on him, being very, very aggressive. Oblivious to any kind of danger, just pushing up. Nice shot from him. Taco does fall, so does FNX. Hiko comes out, and now Simple's got the angle on the double door. So even though Cold gets that kill with a shotgun, there's not too much hope that they're going to be able to retake this site. But they could get some exits if Liquid goes for this chase.
Doesn't look like Cold even wants to stick around and try to attempt that. Fur may do it, since he's a little bit lighter off in this round with only the Mag 7, so losing that would not be the biggest deal in the world. But it looks like Cold may be staying around to try and catch these players jumping outside of the window instead. Elige is tempting it now. Hasn't spotted anyone initially, but as he jumps down from the shotgun attempts, trying to bait him out to move out further, but he does end up taking him down with the shotgun. Nitro coming in for the trade, and then Cold, the bait ends up working out as they pick up a 2-for-1 trade, so they're at least doing some damage. Cold, however, not safe just as of yet. He's being chased right now by Adren.
He's going to survive, though. Uh-oh. Whew. Alright. Don't make me look silly there, Cold. Nice kill onto Adren. He does keep that AK-47, but because of that aggressive buy, it is going to be a save into this round for LG. So, saving for the last... I say that, but I'm just seeing like a scout dropped over to Fallen, so I'm hoping they don't all invest. Some pistols just being dropped by Cold, who had a lot of money. He also has armor in the kit, so he's going to pick up an AK-47. So once again, just a minor investment when they have 1 gun saved, just in case some kind of miraculous play is made by Cold, which is very likely scenario to happen. Simple's going to get aggressive over towards B. Gets 1 kill, does get taken out by Taco with the CZ. Taco even gets away, but now control of platform. Elige has it, and he's going to be taking that duel with FNX. He does get dinked, but he recovers in time. Nitro also combines for 1 more. And Cold's going to be the one who just rotates over playing at the rock, but he's going to be flash blinded, Molotoved. Can't find any kind of position to defend this bomb site.
Now Elige just moving in to pick up one of those final kills, looking for Cold, but actually Cold finds him first, takes down Elige. Sitting behind this rock, they know he's there. They don't know if he's fallen back yet or not. So he's going to take up a position on the corner instead. If Nitro decides to push forward, they're going to absolutely find out he's there, but it's also going to be a very risky move for himself to go for. Fur is the only other player that could have maybe tossed this up into the air, but it's not going to work out. Cold even has some hits connected onto him. Manages to take down 1 more before he's traded out, but it's a very swift trade as Adren finds the final kill of the round. The Liquid have done a nice job of trying to bounce this back, as now we go into the final round with a 9-5 scoreline. Luminosity don't pick this up. Very, very likely they'll have it up at 9-6.
Yeah, very, also just a little bit of a meaningless kill as it has no impact on the round. Also, the money for Liquid is too strong, so everyone can still buy up anything they want. So Liquid, after a horrendous begin to this half, has won 4 in a row, looking for their 5th to bring it up towards 6 rounds on the T side. Middle is currently smoked off, so Simple's just playing far back, looking for any kind of a pick, while Elige is just waiting to smoke, making sure no one's getting a little bit too clever with it. And it's just Fur here at the A bomb site. He's the only one defending this site. 2 towards drop, 2 towards the B bomb site. Passive setups from both teams.
And each one just waiting for the other to try and get aggressive and look for a couple kills, but it's not going to be happening, so we'll be having a pretty long standoff here at the beginning of the 15th round. But it'll be definitely Liquid more than likely going for a play onto that B-bomb site once again. They'll be making a lot of noise. Expect some smokes won't have to be tossed over, but making a lot of noise here onto the A-bomb site to try and draw a couple of rotations. Ultimately, though, they'll be falling back in a few moments to try and regroup and then just push themselves out for the default split.
Taco gets away from that molly just in time, and he times it perfectly as well because Hiko is spamming that side of the box. And Taco very easily could have just walked right into an AK-47 bullet. FNX once again alone, and there's Fur, just drops Elige. Elige doesn't even check the corner. He gets killed for free. That's going to force Simple back, who's all alone with the AWP. This play is coming towards the B bomb site, and it's only Taco here behind the box. He's got to choose his time wisely, and he does. Nitro gets caught out. Shoulder peek spots Hiko. Now he's just got to stay alive, but Hiko is going to drop him. But meanwhile, that pulls the defense back. They know it's coming now. Fallen's here with the AWP. Nice shot onto Simple, and it's going to be a pretty easy cleanup. A stylish shot of Fallen flicks down to the head of Hiko. That's going to be a 10th round for LG going into the second half.
So all things considered, still a very, very good CT side at half for LG, and a pretty monstrous lead, especially if the pistol round keeps that lead going here into the second half now. Liquid, again, the problem is going to be a lot of work that needs to be done to try and round a comeback here on the second half, especially if the CT side remains weak in the same areas we saw it back on Overpass.
Yeah, and it's... Well, the scary thing is... Cold's alive on this map. Overpass... He had mostly a rough game until that very heroic hold of the A bomb site on Overpass late in the second half. So this time around that he's actually performing throughout the entire game is going to make things difficult because you still have the Alpha Fallen. Now Cold's come alive. He was silent a little bit in the first map. So you have a lot of tough things to deal with. And when Cold's going to be on fire, he's at 18-6 right now. That's going to allow for a lot of entries, a lot of opening kills for the Brazilian side. And Liquid's going to have a tough time to deal with things.
So here we go, guys. The second half getting started now. Hiko over the Dooley's investment, so we'll see how that pays off. But now for LG, it looks like it's just going to be a straightforward push train over towards the platform area. A couple probably going to investigate drop as well. So nades are tossed in. Some good damage on the Fur, down at 77. Same thing for Fallen. Try to bounce it back, but it's not going to connect. And now LG line up the push as Fallen gets the pop flash ready to go, dropping down. 2 are going to fall in. They don't spot it initially, but Hiko, if he gets these 2 bunched up, he can actually take them down quite nicely. There we go. Nitro finding that first one. Actually rat back inside, and FNX doing some work. He picks up 2. Dread trading it back out, but then FNX finding a 3rd for himself. Finally, he's put down by Elige, but it doesn't even matter as Taco picking up the final kill. A very quick trade back and forth to both sides, but LG end up winning it out at the end of the day, and they will keep their lead going.
Yeah, Liquid put a lot of emphasis on that defense of stopping any kind of play down drop, and they actually did a pretty good job of it. I think they only I don't think they actually lost anyone to the 2 players who came out drop for Liquid, but for Luminosity. Meanwhile, the other 3 players though just had so much space to work with on the site because of that. They got to wrap around, and they just grabbed such good angles to eliminate the defenses they came through choke points. Taco got a nice spot to eliminate the rock player. That was Elige, and now it's going to be really, really difficult here. Liquid's got 3 MAC-10s to go up against in this anti-eco, and I mean, they're just MAC-10s, but Luminosity, for everything that it's worth, they probably have some of the best MAC-10s in the business.
And even worse than this, too, Liquid's been given a signal to rotate back over towards the V-bomb site, whereas the push is most definitely... actually, it looks like they're wrapping the bomb back towards B instead, so it's going to end up being the correct move from Liquid and the wrong move from LG, as they had the proper lineup to begin with, but the Deagle is going to come flying in there from Symbol. He does manage to spot one of the players from LG, but no connection on the shot. Now they're going all over the place here, too. You can just tech from the minimap there. Members of Team Liquid very unsure as to where the take is actually going to be moving in from, as they do have 2 pushing into long A, but it is going to be the split. They try to take control, and they try to drive the wedge. It's working so far as Fur pushes in. Simple and Hiko both go down to him. Nitro responding, picking up at least 1 kill, but he's traded out very nicely there as well. Cold picking up the kills, and now Adren's the last one alive. Does have a flank, so maybe able to surprise at least 1 player, and indeed he does on a Taco. Plant now coming into the picture here. Adren hasn't even actually decided to push any more forward. He's actually fallen back, and Well, that nade has pretty much killed any chance he had at clutching this.
That hit him in the forehead. There is an AK-47 down that LG's going to have to salvage, and Cold does pick that up. And they've kind of got to evacuate this bomb site, or they're evacuating towards Adren. So he has a chance here if he wants to get overly aggressive. Fur's very, very low. So is Cold is in pretty low HP territory. So Adren could find an extra kill. But the timing's going to have to work out. He spots the shadow. That allows him to get that free kill on a Fur. Now FNX is going to be the other one to cut him off, but I think they're content to just let him live as long as they get to keep these AK-47s. And Adren's not going to go for anything more.
Sitting back now, he'll be a safe player for the rest of this round. FNX does not want to take the risk on it. So some decent damage being done to the economy of LG. Prevent it from building up to a dangerous point, but nonetheless, of course, Liquid, with the exception of Simple now having the MAC-10 in his hands, this will be another round where it's pretty light. The Dren still having the upgraded pistol for himself. Everybody else, though, just a P250 or their default.
Yeah, and an eco win here for Liquid. I mean, even last round it would have been wonderful with the amount of spread they have in this scoreline. It's going to start getting into danger territory. And look at how aggressive he's being. He's going to grab 2. He's down to 6 HP, so he just gets to fall away, but just quickly slaughters the defense in a drive-by. And now it can fall back safely, and that gives a lot of confidence to Luminosity to slowly work their way up long A. They did hear a third player throw a nade towards drop, so they should have the intel that there were at one point at least 3 at the B bomb site. And Fur's going to get one more. That's Elise trying to push it up. He's just a machine right now. Hiko's going to run through this, or he's hiding inside the smoke. Hasn't chosen a time to pounce. Adren has been spotted out, so Hiko's got to make his move. Adren gets one long range, but Hiko can find absolutely nothing. So 13 rounds now for LG going into the first gun round.
And that's a very, very tall task that has Liquid to accomplish now. That consistency problem, which we saw back on the last map, is going to reappear its ugly head once again here now as well, as Liquid are only just a couple of rounds away from clutching it, whereas for LG are just a couple of rounds away from clutching it, whereas for Team Liquid, they're now 8 rounds behind just tying it, and plenty more away from actually winning the game outright. So they've got a long road to go here, and for Luminosity, no reason to worry as of yet.
There are 4 members over towards this B bomb site. Hiko watching drop. Nitro's there for the quick support, but Elise and Simple look like they want to get aggressive. They're going to boost up here. That Molotov is going to force Simple back. He does burn a little bit, down to 75 HP. And Alicia spotted one out, so actually Taco's gained control of drop, but he's going to give it right back up. So he just wanted to prevent any kind of aggression on drop, and now he falls away. But Simple and Alicia aren't going to give up on this one. They're going to go right back for it.
Boosted up now, Taco, maybe the first target of Simple as he's up on the platform, but it's actually Cold that he spots. Takes him down to the ground, and they spot the bomb in the process of this one too. So Taco, he's now frozen like a statue in hopes that someone else tries to move in for a second kill. They've learned their lesson from some of the previous matchups though, so they're going to safely smoke this up before he even attempts to jump up. And not only this, but Elise finds the kill on a Taco after smoking it and grabs FNX way in the back of that smoke too. Nitro closing up the final 2 as they attempt to make a push towards drop. Fails completely. They make a fools out of Luminosity there as Liquid hold a perfect site defense on the B site.
I don't even know if you can say that it failed, because Liquid just didn't let them get anything of what they wanted. That aggression. I mean, Simple gets that first kill, but then Elige with some nice movement jumping up around that box completely freezes Taco in his tracks. I don't know if Taco might have been half covered by the smoke because he was in full view of Elige. So it was an easy kill for him. But nicely done from Liquid. All 5 members surviving as well, so now they have a lot of nades into this round. They can slow things down massively. You can see the nades doing damage. FNX and Taco beaten up just a little bit. And Elige is getting aggressive. Sprays down 2. They're lined up for him.
So immediately, that's just icing on the cake right there for Elige. Cold's completely blind, jumps through the smoke. That's an easy target. So he's already up to 3 pickings now, looking for another one. But it's going to be Simple that's boosted up on top instead. They got to try and find Fallen on the right side. I think he's in a safe position. Actually, pretty amazing. Doesn't see Fur initially, but then there's Fallen. Only manages to sneak through with 1 kill, though. Takes it to Elige, but Simple quick on the draw to find the trade. They shut him back down. And Liquid, even though it was a long row, they're starting it off pretty quickly here. 2 quick shutdowns in a row. That does not look good for Luminosity at all. Now they have to go for a full save.
Yeah, well, more crucially as well as those 2 rounds in a row, they only lose 1 player, so they get to build up a lot of money. You can see Adren's already up towards 6K, Nitro at 5K. Simple, the Opper, he needs to build up some money. He's at 4,500, so that's good stuff from Liquid to start this half off. And once again, this is looking like it's going to be an attempted A split, but FNX is going to be the only one. He gets a kill, though. He finds Hiko. Just with the P250, runs forward, and all of Liquid just falls all the way back. Meanwhile, Adren's getting a kill, so they're holding down the A site at least decently. Simple's pretty much given up the A site, though. He comes around a balcony, and thankfully Adren's there to slow things down just a little bit. 3 kills for him so far. Fallen is finally going to clean him up, but he's the last one left for LG. Not really too much he can do.
He has to go back over here just to get back control of the bomb, too, so just firing some blind shots wherever he thinks players from Liquid may be, but as he wraps back around the shed looking for another target, he will be outmatched finally. They shut him down. There's Liquid picking up their 8th round now. LG only need that single save, though. They go directly onto another buy here. No op in the hands of Fallen as of yet. Money definitely not in a very good enough position to be able to go for that. And for Cold, he can't even afford an AK. He's got to downgrade to a Galil. That does afford him enough utility, though, to support the rest of his team.
Simple with the AWP, staying very, very aggressive towards this mid connector. He's going to get smoked off by LG, so they're going to be forced back. Adren is there as well. That smoke might help him a little bit, but Simple's forced away. Now he's got to respect the A-Hall's push, because Taco is coming up danger stairs, so they're combining to break up any stack that's here, but Simple might be able to get 1 kill and just fall away, and he's actually going to get aggressive with it. He's got to know. He must have an inkling that with the economy the way it is for LG, he's not going to be going up against an AWP. Just holding a very, very off angle. No one from LG is really peeking quite yet, though. FNX is just close up, just waiting. 3 members here in the A-Halls. The rest of the map is just LG, Cold, and Fur watching for pushes over towards the B bomb site. Now as smoke comes out towards Log, Simple's going to shoot some shots through it and just fall away. So postured for some action, but nothing comes from it.
And he'll be falling back actually really far away from this and puts himself in a position just outside of the A doors. And his other teammate's going to fall away, so they don't think there's really anything coming towards the site. If they do, it's going to be a very light push indeed. But it's this split again coming in from LG. Plenty of players lined up just outside of drop. They are going to throw some smokes and maybe a flashbang or two back over out towards the platform area and make it look like it's going to be a B play, but they just got to smoke themselves back over here towards drop itself. So if they're going to want to push, they have to push blindly through it. Thankfully, Name's A through is enough to push them back. Adren, though, holding strong for the time being, but he only manages to pick up 1 frag. It traded back out. Hiko and Simple doing some work of their own, however, but LG also picking up these kills. Now Simple missing the connection as he has to fall away from this, giving some room to breathe here to the members of LG. The bomb going down very, very quickly, and Simple looking to trade out the plans here, but caught completely unaware as FNX just wraps right back down around him, takes him down to a 2-on-2. It's an evenly traded battle. Fur falling back down the ramp, but just waiting outside is FNX. Nowhere for Extra to go. Tries to pick them both off 1 by 1. He finds the first kill, but FNX shuts it down before it can go any further. Gives Luminosity another round. Now they sit just 2 more away from closing out this map.
Sick play from FNX. Completely outplays Simple inside the bomb site. Simple had a 1-on-1. That was the best fight he could have taken, but FNX, I mean, completely counteracts the aggression of Simple. He overcommits into the bomb site. FNX just drops a smoke and quickly, like, not walking, just sprints around the bomb site to get that kill, and he had to do it in a very quick time frame because the rotation was coming in very, very fast. So he beats the 2 members coming over. Now look at this. They switch the pace. This is going to be a B rush. Stopped immediately by Hiko with the first kill. He does fall, though, so now there's an avenue into this bomb site, but so much damage is dealt to LG. They've got to be careful how they handle the rest of this.
Touchdown nade coming in from Nitro, shuts down Cold. 3 left alive from the terrorists now as they still are trying to push themselves up from the platform area. The smoke coverage is really hurting them now, too, because they can't exactly figure out where the remaining members of Liquid are. An attempt at a boost fails completely. Nitro catches it completely unaware. Fallen catching the trade, but Simple moving back into the site stops him from doing any more harm. Strikes right back against the members of Luminosity. Now Liquid 6 more rounds away from tying it up and also re-breaking LG's economy.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the way they get back into such a heavy one-sided first half is break the economy. Don't let Luminosity string rounds together, so their winning streak is stopped at 1. And now they're going to be onto a save. So no armor even bought up for it. Without even a plant. If there was a plant, they might have been able to buy some things that could do this, but look at this. More aggression now drop. Same strategy as last time. And it's a free kill onto Adren. No one watching drop, no one there to slow that down. Adren, I mean, that's not even his fault. He just has no intel that that's coming that aggressively. So FNX does have an M4, but Simple with this AWP is wreaking havoc. Nice second shot, and Hiko bails him out of a tough spot. So Simple really saves the day here. 2 members of LG left, and Nitro is going to clean up FNX, and it's all down to just Cold. 5 HP coming from the B-bomb site.
A good start to LG, but unfortunately things were not meant to continue that way, as Simple, along with some of the other members of Team Liquid, are quick enough on the rotate to get back into that site and stop any more harm from being done. Just as we were talking about Simple, another very nice shot to close out the round. Liquid shut it out. For LG, though, the money continues to roll in for the terrorists. They will be able to force up another buy. It will very much be a force, though. When we look at 2 players being downgraded to Galils, and plenty of others having a pretty weak utility stack.
Simple with this op, he's going to take this over towards the B bomb site. Once again, it's just a Dren who's playing solo at A, just going to smoke off the double doors at a timing. Luminosity throwing some nades early, using a lot of utility, and it looks like I think they just threw a decoy over towards drop. Just to kind of distract somebody. Hiko peeks it though, now he knows that there's no one there. It's just a fake AK-47 sound. Nice intel gathering.
So Taco as well is going to play outside mid-connector, maybe try to throw something over towards that A-bomb site, but you've already got Simple throwing out some frags here. Stop the push over towards the platform. Thankfully, sort of for LGs, there's no one else there, so it gives them a false sense of security, at least for the time being. Coldo picking up another kill, and now they go for this split over towards the A site once again. Elige so quick on that rotate, and almost an impressive shot from Simple, but FNX too quick on the shots. Shuts down Simple. Elige, the trades continue to roll in here for the Liquid, so it's down to a 2-on-3. There's Fur shutting down a Dren, but Elige picking up an additional kill, down at 7 HP. Very cautious duel he has to work up against now, and he wants to sit behind the APC so we can get that support from Nitro, but FNX, he needs to press this engagement. He needs to go for the duel. Picks up that first kill. Not exactly expecting Nitro, but Nitro jumps, and now there's an awkward exchange, hunting for headshots, but FNX is the one that finds it and wins out the round for Luminosity. Now they proceed on to match point.
Oh my word, I can't believe he won that. Caught in the air and just slowly taps away, tries to recover as quick as possible. I think that was actually his last bullet that got that headshot on the Nitro. So a nice 1-on-2 win. FNX just clutching everything. And Luminosity at 15. That's tough to swallow for Liquid. It's this drop defense has really been exposed. I mean, Luminosity's hitting this hard and fast, and that time they split the bomb sites up very, very quickly.
FNX already pushing in through mid-connector here. Fur finding that first kill, but Nitro trading it back. There's some action over towards drop. Doesn't really yield either side any advantage, but for the time being, Liquid do hold control of the area. Now Simple, though, up against pressure. Spots the push coming out from LG back towards long A, and the response grenades come in. Nitro shutting it down against Fallen there. Nice, another Mag 7 shot coming in. That's a lot of extra income for him. But there's the op from Simple, taking down Taco. He didn't notice the cold, I think, rotated out fully, so he has a nasty surprise waiting for him. The Dread had been there like 2 seconds earlier, probably could have killed him without losing Simple, but they are able to recover the op, so economically nothing is really lost.
Another reset of the economy. So you have Cold and Fallen down at 1,400 and 1,700. A couple other players at 2,000, so no real investment for LG. They are at 15, they only need one more round. So Liquid, no more mistakes to give up here. It's Simple's actually doing some work for this team right now with this AWP at the A bomb site. Even when he takes it over towards the B bomb site, this time he's going to be more and more aggressive with it, peeking up towards those double doors, more play towards drop. And once again, it's FNX just rushing forward, getting a kill with the Tech 9. No response, no trade. So this B defense is a little bit weakened, and there it is, FNX again with the kill. That's huge. One player, Elige, is in the chicken coop. He sprays down one, but be careful of his back, and he grabs another one, and Fallen. So Elige holding strong at this B bomb site while his teammates fall. Even Simple almost gets caught out.
Look at FNX, though, sneaking out, finds Simple, and now it's just Elige sitting inside. Will it be the ace to end the game on a full eco round for the most part, with the exception of FNX? And it will! Just rolls and shuts down the entire defense. They just lost the Glocks to end the game. And that will be it, guys. LG take the second map.
For FNX in the last round? Was that like 4?
He got an ace right there.
Did he? Jesus. Yeah. Alright, the guy's just a playmaker.
So technically they didn't lose to Glocks. They lost to one person with a Tech 9, but still. That ends the match, and LG is going to go 2-0 tonight.
That's so ridiculous. I mean, actually, while Liquid goes 0 for 2, and they're never going to be happy with that, I mean, you could see they had some good things going. They started out too slow on both maps, but once they like kind of calmed down in these matches, they had some good streaks going. They had some good stuff that they showed off. It's just they can't afford to have slow starts, especially against a team like Luminosity. You're just going to get punished too much when you get beat up in a first half like that. So even though they showed some good things, it just wasn't enough tonight. So they go 0 for 2, and LG starts out the season hot.
And that is going to close out the action for this evening and for this week here in North America, guys, for the ESL Pro League. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll be back to you live next Tuesday, once again, same time, same place, with Luminosity versus Complexity, along with Splice taking on Optic. Plenty more action to come up throughout the week as well, so be sure to tune in right here on twitch.tv/ESL_CSGO. Beyond that, I believe that's about it. So thank you guys once again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here at the ESL Pro League.